Hey, everybody. So, is there any news going out there today? Oh, everybody's in a good mood? Oh, everybody's nice to everyone? Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm living in a fantasy world. See you in a little bit. Three, two... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SEN Live. It is the Schmoedown Entertainment Network, and this is our full non-spoiler review of Rocky IV, 1985. Welcome back to the show. Joining us on the table, we start with the engineer extraordinaire himself, Mr. RB3. There he is. Man with the hair. The only one. He's not sick anymore. He's Ben Goddard. What's up, Ben? Your ear's doing some weird things over there. What are you doing with your ear?
I like doing one in, one out.
Oh, fair. Oh. Yeah. No, good for you. The dynamic duo, the crazy people who make my life hell with their scheduling, Brett Sheridan and Kate
I know how to do this. I was never good at this.
Okay. No. So welcome back, everybody. Big show here today. So we obviously are going to be doing a non-spoiler review of the Rise of Skywalker, which myself and Kate have seen. Everybody else in here has not seen, and even poor Ben, who wanted to try to leave during the review, told me, can't. That's the job, kid. So we're going to non-spoil it for everybody a little bit. And we will also talk about, well, at least I will talk about, because I'm the only one that saw, hands down, the best episode of any Star Wars content I've seen in a long time, including Rise of Skywalker, and that is Mandalorian Chapter 7. What an episode. Deborah Chow, thank God she is doing the Obi-Wan series, because she's a superstar. So we'll talk about that, and then Tarantino had an idea for a Halloween movie, so we will also be diving into those types of things. So tons. So they said that the audio is popping? What are you talking about? Is that one person, or is that...
Maybe audio's popping like, it's popping.
Yeah, oh, man.
It's popping.
Yeah.
Man, that audio's popping.
Well, there's nobody's having audio issues. So one guy. He's probably it's probably in his car.
No words for that.
All right, listen. So here's what we're going to be doing. Once again, if you're brand new to the show and you're tuning in for the very first time, we don't have the luxury of having the big sponsors or the we're not run corporately. So the way we do it is through STREAMLABS.com/the Schmoedown, or you can go on over to the super chat option right there, and we'll be taking questions from you guys throughout the entirety of the show. Now, what we're doing, and the SCHMOEBOT will be on for a little bit, not during the review. Ben Goddard will not be in the chat room today, so it is the Wild Wild West in there. There's going to be there's going to be turds who are going to try to spoil, so I guess, it is what it is. We ask you not to. But then again, the internet's the internet. So
I might take my headphones off once the SCHMOEBOT goes on. I don't want to.
No, the SCHMOEBOT we're not going to, because what we'll do is I'm going to be able to see it up top, and I can give RB3 a little bit of a
But nobody also,
warning.
If we ask people not to do spoilers on the SCHMOEBOT, they won't. I trust people. I'm serious.
They're great.
I trust people.
Okay.
I do.
You're so
I trust
innocent.
you. I trust you.
You can tell she's only been doing this for a little bit.
Yeah.
No, we asked them to be nice to Clark, and they were.
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, but that was
This
before
group of
we didn't
people-
have Rise of Skywalker review in the headline.
Because I told you that for Force Awakens, I went internet blackout, and I clicked on one video game stream, and it wasn't even the donation message. The donation name was Kylo Ren kills Han Solo.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a chance to click off
People
of
are going to try to do that stuff, but we have a lot. I mean,
Spoiler for Force Awakens, everybody. Sorry about that.
But we have a lot of questions that kind of came in yesterday. I think people thought that we were going to be on the air, so there's some backed up Streamlabs questions.
Oh,
that
we
I
can
have.
talk about the Schmoedown now too.
We can talk about the Schmoedown Spectacular. Yeah,
How
finally.
wrong was I?
About everything. We'll talk about the Schmoedown Spectacular because that's.
I cannot wait to
I
make you just
know.
eat shit
I
today.
know.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
understand.
Well,
I know you had to wait.
Schmoedown Spectacular. We aired it yesterday in place of this show, and it did over 20,000 views already in just a night.
Great.
People have been very excited to see it. Brand new fans, new people checking in on it. So And I do want to address something too, because it was and people were giving this poor guy a lot of crap, and I don't think it was fair that he got this kind of crap. Roca had retweeted a picture of himself and the horseman with the belts and everything too. And the guy's like, I didn't even get a chance to watch this. This sucks. It's a spoiler thing, and I didn't get a chance. And I said, well, that's why we gave people the option for a week to do it. And he's like, well, I didn't have it. I was working to do it. Blah, blah. So people started going after him and his appearance and everything. So I'm like, come on, stop. The guy's allowed to complain about certain things. I don't agree with him. I said, because we're trying to treat this thing more like a sport. I was like, whether it's UFC or WWE, which whoever, they don't, or the NFL or MLB, they don't hold their results for over a week, which we did. And it's like we give people the options. And I said, the event itself, it just costs a lot of money to do. It costs a lot of money to do. So we gave people the options, whether you're a patron or whether you're, you just want to go for the one-time thing. But next season, we can't do it because the competitors want to celebrate. We want to talk about it in the show. We can't be responsible. It's not a movie. We can't be responsible of people if you can't. You got to avoid spoilers. So next season we're going to give people maybe 24 hours to either check it out or avoid spoilers. We've got to run this like a sport. I got to be able to promote the next event, talk to people. I wanted to get people on last week so we can really get the hype. The hype's kind of built down a little bit.
You had to wait so long to shit on me publicly.
Like so long.
Yeah,
that's
right?
my main complaint. But even with stuff like the Olympics, like everyone knows you have to avoid when it's overseas, different country. You have to avoid the news because of the time delay.
Yeah.
So you have to do that, and then you just got to avoid it or pay the
Olympics-
money, support the show.
I love that the Olympics is your gold standard
that's a
for
trickier-
having to wait.
Right. The Olympics.
Once every 4 years, every 2 years, you're like,
the Olympics.
don't spoil.
How dare you?
Would not land the triple axle.
I know.
Just don't. I can't even go.
Who won the luge? Michael Phelps is my hero. Okay.
But the one thing to go against you a little bit there, Ben, not everybody can afford to do it. Not everybody can afford.
I understand that.
I mean, it was $5.99, and some people that's a lot of money, like to what they're doing, and they want to put it to groceries. And so I would never disparage anybody just saying you should just put up the money, because even the patrons towards the last 3 or 4 days was $1, but $1 goes a long way to a lot of people too. But my thing is, you can't ask me though to say, yeah, but you know what? We're not going to spoil stuff. You got to avoid it then. It's like, I'm not going to ask you to pay for it, but you got to avoid it. You got to find a way to either mute the Facebook groups or mute, like the way that you do for Star Wars spoilers. Mute certain words, mute certain competitors if you know it's going to happen. But we can't do that anymore. We have to be able to promote it like a sport, because I've already taken a hit because I know what my undercard for New York is. And I've been waiting on it because the spoilers, and it just hurts momentum. But anyway, that's one particular thing. Then, like I said before, we're going to be getting into the Mandalorian here in a bit. I can't wait to talk about the Mandalorian.
I saw like half the episode once I got here. I didn't realize it dropped today. I was sitting here for like half an hour playing blackjack on my phone.
And they're not dropping one on Friday.
I don't know if they are.
They said that they're
not
running
right?
the last one on the 27th.
They are. Okay. So you're right
yeah.
there. Okay, listen. So here's the thing, and take this however you want to take this out there. After watching The Mandalorian, though, today, I realized a few different things. And the main thing is that I am so glad that we're not getting another theatrically released Star Wars movie. I hope for 5 years. I don't need one. And not because of anything when it comes to reviews of movies or anything. I just feel that one of the main reasons, there's a lot of different reasons, but the main reason is, so when Star Wars was made in 1977, for that movie was a pretty big budget. But when you go back and look at it, it's a smaller scale movie that would not cost a lot of money to make. It kind of looks like The Mandalorian. And that's why a lot of the nostalgic fans, like myself and other people, are gravitating towards it, because it doesn't go too big, $200, $300 million per episode, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like Terminator and all these things suffer from those big budgets thing, because you lose what it's all about and the core with the characters and the feel of it. And this episode of Mandalorian has all that plot that people are, and I saw some guy who was like, oh, finally we got a plot after episode 7. No, the plot has been building up to it. This just happens to come together. But it's just this smaller feel that I think Star Wars benefits bigger than the big blockbuster action stuff, because, like I said, we're going to talk about our review. I had a lot of issues with Rise of Skywalker. Enjoyed it, but I also think that, and I said that I said that the close up in my tweet, I said that I believe it was a good close to this trilogy. I was like, oh, not the final 9? No, I don't think it was a good close to the final 9.
Oh.
I think it was a good close to to this trilogy. I think if you separate them, I feel like they're almost like three. You have to look at them as very different movies. And we'll get into all that. I know that it's kind of all over the place, but there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And I've got my it's spoiler alert about the new flannel I have today.
Oh yeah, please tell me. Yes, let me know.
Can I get a full Brett review of the
well,
flannel?
This is from my good friend Kate.
Okay.
And I am so fucking cozy right now.
Oh, yeah, you should.
I think I'm just gonna fall asleep while you review all this stuff that I haven't seen.
Can I ask you a question? What's a woo-woo?
A woo-woo?
Yeah, you said when
That's
you
how
woo-woo.
cozy he is.
A woo-woo. I'm gonna do my woo-woo.
Yeah,
I'm going to
said
take a nap
woo-woo.
during the woo-woo, please.
Man, I'm the first person to ever say a word wrong.
I know. You are, Brett. Oh, so good.
Glasses McGillicuddy over here coming in on.
Oh, I forgot my glasses, by the way. That's what I was wondering. I was like, why can't I see anything? I was like, oh, because I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start right away with the and for those people again who are tuning in for the review, come back at like 10:30. That's when the review is going to happen. So we're going to go through some of these questions because there's a lot of them, and I also want to make sure we're going to turn on the SCHMOEBOT RB3. Go for it. The SCHMOEBOT is on, everybody. So if you want to interrupt the show, you can do so. Streamlabs.com/the Schmoedown. Let's get all those questions coming in now because once we get to 10:30, we're going to shut down the SCHMOEBOT, and I want to make sure that we also have all the Streamlab questions for
Watch you
guys.
Schmoedown now. Want to watch everything from the beginning, but feels like it will be overwhelming to do so. Also, an idea popped in there. AGB84 reference. What about a
What is
sports Schmoedown, or at least a branch off like in a geekdom?
So sports Schmoedown is something that we have talked about. There's no doubt about it. It's the same question I give when people ask about the TV. It's just a matter of we got to build out first, but it's absolutely a division that or a league that I want to create.
Right now it'd be Mark Ellis and Ken Knapsack just going
Yeah,
head to head
basically.
every
I
night.
think Winston could hang too.
Yeah.
I think Winston could hang. And then if you do NBA, I'm sure RB2 will
I
hang.
get it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
By the way, I would just like to point out RB3. I'm looking at you while I say this so that you know I'm purposefully throwing you under the bus.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
He's wearing Air Jordans today. I'm just saying, for a man that takes Magic over Jordan, he's got Air Jordans.
I wear
on.
Jordans every day. I'm not ashamed. I don't hate Jordan. Like, I love Jordan. You know what I mean? I'm just saying I like Magic. That's my guy.
Okay, so where are your Magic shoes?
He ain't got no shoes.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
interesting.
What do you think the-
Forrest Gump, wear your
Fascinating.
magic shoe.
In a one-on-one game, what do you think the score would be? Magic versus Jordan in their prime. Like, what do you like? Game 2-11. What do you think the final score is?
Well, everybody knows I'm really good at things like this. I've never lost a bet or guessed things wrong.
Uh-oh.
Well, this is like, This is not never
I would
going to happen.
say 93 Jordan to 81 Magic.
That's disrespectful.
Wow.
Disrespectful.
Is it?
That's
Is it?
disrespectful.
Is it? Is it?
I can't rock with that.
You know what?
It would
Is
be way closer than that. It would be like 90. It would be
be like,
95, 93, something like
Oh,
that.
it would be a
Maybe.
2-point. It would be, but one of them has shoes that you still wear.
Hey, look, hey.
So he was
Cultural
only 2
impact
points.
is not
No, he was only
involve
he
a
was
one-on-one
only,
game.
He was only 2 points better, but he's the guy that you still wear the shoes of. Just checking.
All right, take it. Let's
Guys!
I doubt this is the last fight that you're gonna have to break up on this show. Here.
Oh, no.
All right, let's talk about. I want to start here. I want to start here with.
This is from Tim Sim.
Okay.
For those who have
Uh-oh.
watched Rise of Skywalker already or will in a
Uh-oh. That
few
killed
days, don't forget to respect everyone's differing opinions and don't yell that you're wrong. P.S. Jeremy Yarns' review of Ross is trending worldwide at #1.
Wow,
Oh,
good for
nice.
him. I watched it this morning. Good for
He didn't
Jim.
like it, right?
He didn't like it. No.
No,
He didn't.
it's funny.
I agreed with a lot of his points that he had for sure, but it was. I mean, shoot. Let's just get into this thing now.
Yeah.
We'll just get into it now. Just let's turn the SCHMOEBOT off so we can get into this. So we can just give a full review on it. All right, so let's start. The Rise of Skywalker comes out to the first thing. I want to go into all the stuff, the negative stuff first.
First of all, how did Kate get to go? That's my question.
Because you weren't around. You were actually going to be the first choice. You weren't around. Sorry. I just let you know. Hey, because you know why that is? Because he's been asking to go to screenings for like 3 years, and then he wasn't able to go, and then you were next on the list. But actually, you were the first because I knew he wasn't out of town. So I would have asked him. This is the question. So anyway,
I was trying so hard to get anybody's plus
yeah,
one
I
in
know.
this thing.
Yeah, you're way too new.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so look, let's
I'm gonna go again, by the way.
let's get this over with. The beginning. So the negative stuff first. Like I said in the beginning, there was no clear-cut plan for these movies, and it is evident after this movie. It is evident there is no plan whatsoever. I was one of the people who was saying that the Emperor coming back in general was not a break glass in case of emergency. This is a break glass in case of emergency. It makes no sense why he comes back at all. It makes no sense, but it's like, there he is. Why? Because. All right. Fine. So that's that. Now it is a clear. I feel that people who love Last Jedi are going to hate this movie because it is a clear apology letter for the Last Jedi. The whole movie is from. There's many things throughout the entire thing. Like, yeah, you remember that? Don't worry about it. Here's this, and I could see J.J. Abrams saying inside of this thing. That no. What I meant by that was, and you could kind of smoothly, say an excuse for it, but we know what's going on. The script is definitely very clunky. The script is clunky. There are things inside of the that doesn't make a lot of sense at all.
Is it clunky?
Nice.
Thank you.
Well done.
That's my only contribution to this non-spoiler review.
No, it's good.
I was going to do that, but I knew it would flop.
You're right.
Oh, take the hit, baby!
It processed and went, no.
Yeah. So it's like it's you know what? But what I said to Kate at one point, it feels like a $200 million fan film. Like there's when you look at, and all three of these movies, the new trilogy feels like fan films.
I'll throw Rogue One in there.
Fine. But it doesn't mean that I don't like them. Yeah. It means that and I had even more thoughts after watching The Mandalorian today, where I know it's the easy thing and it's a cliche thing of this feels like Star Wars. This feels like people trying to make Star Wars. The new trilogy feels like people trying to make Star Wars, especially in this one. And there are things like certain themes and stuff that negates the original trilogy that I think throughout this thing. Now, it is in people's right to say that because of that they don't like this film. Because of that, they say, like, no, because it negates this and because that doesn't make any sense, I don't want to like this film, and I think that that's fair. Because of the way I just dislike The Last Jedi so much, this is also a direct sequel of The Force Awakens.
I was going to say, do you think if JJ had done Episode 8, it would have
tied together better because he would have had a clear-cut plan of where these characters are going. You can tell that what it seems like this movie was, okay, this is what would have happened, but you're missing a huge chunk of what would have happened, but you have to, that other thing that happened, it kind of happened, so we'll tie in a little bit, we'll reference it a little bit, but I'm going to negate it this way because that's not what happened to my children. Well, you should have stayed on the project then.
Yeah.
The music is incredible. John Williams does a great job. Is it an overall entertaining ride? I did think it was an overall entertaining ride. It starts off with the crawl, you're in it, and you're never out of it. And I enjoyed watching it. And I've seen it twice, and I enjoyed watching it. And I think that it's from as I'm watching it as a Force Awakens sequel, it delivers. And I think the acting is really good. I think Daisy Ridley is awesome as
she's beyond.
She's great. And I think that there's things that happen with her and Kylo that at one point I say, okay, explain a little bit more how that happens. Oh, you're not going to? Okay. So you have to either say, I'm going to just enjoy this for the way that this whole thing closes out. And I said it in the beginning, and I say it again. This is a good closeout to this trilogy. And someone said, you don't think it's a good closeout to the entire 9 movies? No. I think there's things that are thrown in there sometimes to say, and there's nostalgia things that are kind of thrown in to make you feel the point of nostalgia. But it's so funny when you hear about what the Scorsese comments right? About the theme park ride. This feels like a theme park ride. It absolutely does. But I enjoyed watching it. I understand where people are going to have tons of issues with this movie. There's going to be different sides of it. I was talking to a friend. They said, what do you think the fan base is going to be? I was like, there's like 5 different ways you can think of how the fan base is going to act to this thing. The first are the Last Jedi fans who are going to be pissed about it because it is a clear FU to that movie, right? Then there's the people who didn't like The Force Awakens at all, doesn't like the Disney era thing at all, not going to dig this at all. Let's just watch The Mandalorian, or they're going to feel that Star Wars is dead. That's just going to feel that's that fan base there. There's the other side of it that feels that it's just, that are going to love it because they hated Last Jedi so much. But then there's people, right, the casual fan, like Kate and my wife and Brett, right? I think that they're going to enjoy it very much because
I loved it.
All right, go ahead, talk about it.
I loved it. And I feel like part of it, like I'm not too entrenched in it. I feel like it's like that Friday Night Lights quote, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. I feel like I've got clear eyes on this because I know all the movies, but I'm not entrenched. I'm not like, I don't have a horse in the race. I fucking loved this movie so much. I was so emotional. I felt like, is there some times where you have to suspend your disbelief? Sure. I have to say, I loved the script. I felt like the comedy was awesome. We were all so worried about like, oh, there's not going to be like genuine laugh out loud moments because that one clip we saw, you and I were laughing hysterically at
There's a couple characters in there that I liked a lot. New characters. There's addition of a couple new characters, and I did not mind the humor. And I will tell you that scene of they fly now, which I still hate it. And when it played, I went, get through it, and I got through it, and it's part of the action. It comes and goes. Yes. And there is the majority of the I couldn't stand the humor in The Last Jedi because I felt like it was just Marvel humor put into it. There's a few jokes in there that don't land, but for the most part, it is Star Wars humor that works, and there's new characters.
There's one line that I was like, that's my only issue. I
know there's something that I want to. Is the one that we talked about afterwards?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. There's some lazy plot. There's some lazy plot points in this.
Yeah.
Movie. Lazy.
I was gonna ask, like, who do you think this movie, like, is it just for? And I'm not like degrading that, like casual fans like Kate and Brett.
No, I'm not
because like you're saying, people that like The Last Jedi won't like this, and I feel
liked
like
The Last
anybody
Jedi,
that
fine.
Okay, I feel like anybody that didn't like The Last Jedi is just like they're just Star Wars is gone already, and they're already kind of have that preconceived notion of not liking this.
That's why I'm thinking there's different layers.
Yeah.
There's just different layers. Because I already see people who haven't even seen it, and they're going to hate it no matter what. Then there's other people who loved Force Awakens, hated The Last Jedi, and they might still think it's
Did anybody hate Force Awakens?
Yeah, of course. People thought that it was a
people really hated that
yeah,
movie.
people not the same way. Not the same way, but
it was
yeah.
a different
It was after it became popular.
Yeah. Like Last Jedi, there was like immediate like, nope, not for me.
Right.
Force Awakens, everyone was like on this high.
Retread.
Then like a month later, everyone's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and The Force Awakens got a lot more love after Last Jedi came out, for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I just think that this whole thing, to be honest with you, the whole trilogy has been a disaster. Because it has gone, and it has just gone from a place of excitement and you can and it's too easy to blame it on the fandom. It's too easy to blame it on the fandom because the Marvel fandom didn't explode. The other things, the DC fandom, even though the beginning was pretty bad, they've kind of come together too in a way that I know it's DC versus Marvel and all that shit, but it baffles me to where it's not politics, it's just movies, but nonetheless, people are passionate about it. I just feel that this thing, from start to finish, on a direction of this is where we need to be, this is where we need to go. We need this person to come in and put this direction together, and then we'll have 3 big movies with a big coherent story. And that did not happen, and it is so clear. And I watched Jeremy's review this morning, Jeremy Johns. And I watched Jeremy Johns' review this morning, and he's dead on, man, when he says about the fact that when they said Palpatine was always in the play, bullshit. No. It's clear. It's not. They're trying to save face. But like I said, I would watch this movie 1,000,000 times over than I would watch The Last Jedi again. It is rewatchable. It is fun. It is and if you can get past it is. It's just it's a more fun movie. It feels more. It plays off nostalgia.
It sure does.
It absolutely plays off nostalgia. It feels more like it's a combination of the original movies and the prequel of what someone thinks that those movies should be. And I get it. I get taking shots and trying something different, but you also have to agree when it just to some people it just doesn't work. This is easier, and it is way safer, no doubt.
I will say that your sort of thesis is that this is a good end piece to these 3 movies.
Yeah.
And not so much necessarily all 9. I think the difference between a casual fan and somebody that's entrenched is I do feel like it encapsulates the whole story. I feel like
Cool.
So to me, somebody who maybe doesn't know the in and outs, I'm sort of like, this for me, I actually I'm not kidding you, I felt like after I saw it, I felt like I was in a state for a while. I was like, how cool, I know this is going to sound so cheesy, but how cool that we're alive for this.
Oh, it's awesome.
How cool that we are alive for the closing.
Yeah.
I was a child when the first 3 came out. I mean, not immediately, but we played with the original toys. It was I was born in 82.
Yeah,
it's how cool that I'm
Braggart.
still here to
Right.
I was 3 when the original came out, my friends. 3 years old.
It's so gross.
So I've been around for all of it.
Yeah. The other thing that I think that they do well in this movie is that I think Finn finally gets that where he was. Yeah. Where Finn where Finn was in episode 7, you see more of an arc where it goes to 9 as opposed to just being a someone who's just thrown away completely.
I didn't think he was thrown away.
He feels like he feels like he was thrown away. If he feels that way, then I'm going to go with him. So
the actor does.
Yes, he feels like it was just he was a side note.
The Rose thing was strange.
It was,
I'll give you that.
Last
for sure.
Jedi,
and JJ clearly felt that way too.
Yes, JJ did clearly feel that way.
But the thing is,
that poor actress.
I just don't think Star Wars has the legs to do what Marvel does, because also it's honestly just a thing of locations. Thor, you go to Asgard. Captain America, you have World War II, and then, coming to the future. You have different set pieces for Marvel, and you can do so many things.
As opposed to other planets all over the galaxy?
And that's what works with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because there's no lore attached to it.
Oh, I see
There's
what
no,
you're saying.
I feel like we need to get away from Skywalkers and
Skywalker
stuff.
We need
era.
to get away from movies.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Movies, after seeing today's episode of Mandalorian and watching what Deborah Chow, I cannot. If you told me, okay, guess what? They are going to do an Old Republic series and movies, and it's going to come out in 2 years, or you get the Obi-Wan series. Sorry, as much as I want to see it, I'm done with the movies. I'm done with the people.
Yeah.
I'm done with this the way people are just in this chat room today. Too.
Yeah,
I just gave a full on. Like I said, I had a lot of issues with this movie. Enjoyed it for what it was. Had a lot of issues. And still, why did Harloff start shilling for Disney? How the fuck do you shill when you just say the movie's not that good? I said it's okay. It's an okay movie, but still, I'm the
You're a
bad guy.
shill.
No, but it's because it comes down to the fact that people have agendas, and people want to make sure that their particular thing it's a movie.
And that's
Well,
what
this
movie
is what-
reviews
It's a
have
movie.
become. It's not
Right.
even about. Let me see the review of the movie. It's like, no, let me go to the person that's going to agree with me, and I'm going to listen to them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to downvote your video, and I'm going to say you're a shill.
Yeah, because
it's
funny because I didn't see Rise of Skywalker, but my buddy Ace did.
Yeah.
And we put up a video on our channel last night, when the embargo dropped. And I swear, for one, our fastest going video, to do views, but then also the amount of people just commenting.
You can't win.
I mean, they haven't even seen the movie yet.
No,
Right?
but it is. It's like but do you see RB3 was talking about? It becomes, for some reason, movies have now become like politics.
Yes.
and it's become politics now, and it's like there's the right and the left, and it's like people you could, like, for example, I'm the farthest thing from a liberal or a hardcore like leftist, if you will. Been called it. Been called a lot of different things.
I'm a hardcore lefty. I'll take that.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But what I'm saying is, though, when people call you and just assume certain things,
Right.
that's the way they assume with Star
movies,
Wars. It's like,
yeah.
well, wait a minute, because you worked there for so long. Well, then that's the way that it's like, and you can't even really talk about it the way that when you're talking about these movies.
It means you can't have an honest reaction to anything.
Yeah.
It means that if you loved it, you would have to pretend like you didn't, because people are going to call you a Disney shill.
Yeah.
So what's the point of having an opinion if you're not going to actually be allowed to have it?
I feel like that's why React channels get more views than the actual review, because people want to just see like your initial emotional reaction to it, but they don't want to hear you talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, because they'll have that same like, oh my gosh, Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer, crazy. But if you don't like Civil War as a whole, then you're wrong.
It's the whole thing of like discourse. I feel like just the internet in general just makes it really hard to communicate with each other without subtlety. People just feel like they have to like yell at each other or like, oh, my opinion is way better than yours. Like, nah, we can have differing things.
I don't envy. This is the thing. I don't envy people who are so hardcore about this because, again, yes, I was 3 years old when it came out, and I will use something my mom said. I sat on her lap during this movie. She didn't have a babysitter. I went to Star Wars with her, and she was talking about how watching this film, she was amazed at this technology and these creatures and these things like this, and just this, she couldn't believe this was happening, right? And so then I watched them, and but I think like as a casual fan, I don't have any. They're all just, it's like, cool, there's lightsabers, cool, there's any of the political shit I don't really care about. But I've never once been mad about any of them. I've never hated one of them, and I've always enjoyed it, and especially enjoying it with my son now.
Yeah.
Who and if you watch it with a child, you'll see they don't give a shit about bad CGI.
No,
they don't care about
any
Jar
of that
Jar
stuff.
Binks or any of that.
That's the thing, is that I am looking for, but I am looking forward to seeing this with my daughter. And and my wife, we're just gonna watch it as a movie, and then that's it, and then we move on. But like I said, now I have the Mandalorian to watch, and I watched it, Chapter 7, by the way, and it is fantastic. It is the best piece of Star Wars content that I've seen in a very long time. Deborah Chow.
Shill.
I know. Deborah Chow is an absolute.
You're a Deborah Chow shill, right?
Well, she's an amazing director. And what they do here, and this is non-spoiler, obviously, for Mandalorian, but it picks up from the episodes, the previous chapter, and at first you're like, oh, here comes another side mission, but this side mission ties into the entire thing that we've been building up to overall so far. Yes, the baby's in it, and this is gonna. So I'm watching it in my room today, and my 2-year-old walks in. And she goes, "Oh, baby Oda."
They show his, like, I saw the first 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
They show his walk again. He like peeks over, like upside down. He's so cute.
And when they land on that planet of Baby Yodas, that is just like it's just a sea of Baby Yodas.
That's right. But
Do you know who I forgot is so cute is BB-8.
Yeah,
I love like how he like leans forward to run. It's the cutest shit in the world.
His thumbs up in Force Awakens is one of the best moments.
but Deborah Chow, what she does with this episode, and you go back, it brings back a lot of the plot points that they set up from 1 to 3 and things that she handled too. There's some moments that really pull on the heartstrings, absolutely, and it sets up for a great season finale. There's a lot more to happen. There's some more characters that introduce themselves, and the music. Oh man, the music in this show.
I love the music in this show.
It's so good. So and it just, there's certain things that pop up for the OT fans, the original trilogy fans, that you look, just little things of that are mentioned in the original trilogy. They're like, oh, I even saw somebody tweeted it out and said that's something I wanted to see since I was 6 years old.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
And it's like it's an old school thing. So I think for those people who might have been, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that for people who feel like the trilogy, the new trilogy, is not for them, I feel like the Mandalorian has found a lot of those people.
Absolutely.
And I also think that there's just some people that just are just over it. So, but overall, loved this episode. Thought the episode was great, and Deborah Chow is just so freaking good. I can't wait to see what she does with Obi-Wan, and I hope she's doing some more Mandalorian episodes also, isn't she? I don't know if she is. Maybe not.
I know
Taika
Waititi's doing the finale. I don't know about season 2. I don't know who the director
we
lists.
discussed where that she's not, because she's going over to Obi-Wan. That
I think she's doing. I think she's doing the
I could be
entire
wrong.
Obi-Wan series. I don't think it's a handful of directors for that. And I know Taika Waititi's doing the finale.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that I would tell people, if you don't like Star Wars, I'd tell them to watch The Mandalorian, because there's no lore attached to it. There's no there's no baggage to it.
Yeah.
It's like you can start not knowing anything.
Totally.
And you can just dive in.
Yeah, there is, and that's one of the main things. And I think that's why even if you did new movies, you should put it in somewhere completely different, like years before. So there's nothing combined to it. But just watching watching this movie, you can tell how condensed it is. It's 220, and you had to set up so much because the other ones were. It's like almost separate movies. Yeah. So it doesn't tie in all together. Yeah.
I have one more comment about the movie, and I'm actually curious to know somebody that's entrenched in it. So when I remember reading when JJ said that he went through the Force Awakens clips to get Leia clips.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, oh, that's going to be so emotional. And it was. It's obviously very emotional. But I also felt like, from my perspective, and this is, again, I think I have the inverse now of what a diehard fan had. Did you have any problems with those clips?
The way they used her?
Yeah.
No.
So I did.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it felt like they had like a clip of like, this is not a line in the movie, but just like, it was like they had a scene of her saying like, well, happy birthday. Like they had a scene of her, like, right, let's say, and then they have to justify the fact that they're about to show her say, well, happy birthday. So they're like, hey, by the way, guys, it's Da-da-Da's birthday. Right. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, but I knew it felt that way.
But what I'm saying is, like, for somebody who's casual, that's the part that felt clunky about the movie to me, because it's like, this woman's saying nothing of substance. Like, it just feels like they had like these.
But there's only so much you could do with it. So I think they got a pass.
But I'm saying, like, when you are like in it and you love Leia and you can't believe it, I think you've got blind. Like, that to me was the clunkiest part of the movie.
I'd rather have them do that than a CGI Carrie Fisher.
I 100% agree with you.
Chop the hell out of this movie before I get CGI Carrie Fisher in there.
But I'm just saying, like, there is going to be a difference between casual fans and like diehards, because I think the diehards are going to love, like, if she went and she was like, poop in my mouth, they'd be like, that was amazing how Leia told them to poop in her mouth. Then I was like, that's spoilers. So weird.
I do wonder though, with people who don't want like this thing to succeed in general, like what I'm curious what like the over. I'm not asking like condescending. I'm asking like legit. Like, what do they want to happen? Do they want Star Wars to go away forever? I'm serious. I know they won't. Do they want Disney to sell it? Like, what? Like, do they want Kathleen Kennedy to step down? Did they like Star Wars at one point, or they just because they didn't like the fan base in the first place? That they, like, I guess I just don't understand. Like, people like who just want it to fail in general. Like, what do they want to happen? Is there something that they want, or they just, I don't know.
Like you said, there's layers to everything. I think there are people that blame Disney. There are people that blame Kathleen Kennedy. There are people that wanted to go back to George. And then there are people that just want Star Wars to go away and, are on the Martin Scorsese thing of, blockbusters are ruining cinema. Star Wars was the first Jaws was, but then Star Wars was second. This should all go away. But I love Star Wars. And
I know.
They're good movies.
Can I say something to you on air that I should probably say to you off air?
No.
I feel like you should stay out of that fucking chat room.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. No, because you read that guy's comment. I think somebody should have to pay you to call you a shill.
Yeah.
So if you want to call Kristian a shill, he's not going to see it in the chat room anymore. You're going to have to fucking put it in a super chat. You're going to have to pay him some money.
No, but that's not why. But that's the point that I'm trying. Like, I asked a question. That's why, because it's more about.
No, I'm talking about earlier when you said
someone's
calling me a shill.
Yeah.
But that
you're in the chat room.
I didn't see the chat room from it. I just know that that's the case because I got it from Twitter this morning.
Oh, you didn't.
So shush your face.
Don't.
And so
easy with the shushing.
Shush the face.
Roll it back.
By the way.
Roll it back. He literally points to the computer before he says. Roll it back.
Let's get to let's have some fun with it. Turn your SCHMOEBOT on. And now I want to get to these questions here. Let's start with Georgie. Hello, Kristian. A little donation for all the laughs and the good time we've gotten from you over the years. Wishing you great success. Also, I love the glasses. Great. Have a great day. Me too. Wish I had the glasses on today. GXMan27. Love what you're doing on SEN. Keep up the great work. Really loving the Mandalorian watch-alongs. Well, thank you. I'm going to definitely be doing one for this episode. I'll tell you that.
Just as a point beyond what was said, has anyone noticed Red v Blue in everything? RVD in politics, SVJ in Star Wars, Cat v Iron Man in Civil War. Side note, hot take, all established nerd franchise should go way of Mandalorian. Thoughts? Hashtag no judgment, hashtag M.
Yeah, that's fair.
Loved Harloff and RB3 for Winston Fire. Scene liked it while accepting it could never be I. Hate the last cleaned up the turd left from Frick FTW. I miss Schnepp.
Oh my god.
Schnepp would love raps. Tribute, please.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very curious to what he would have thought.
Those were a little hard. She's,
yeah, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah,
She's not as clear.
Did
as
she go
was.
on vacation?
I think she did for
She
sure.
must have been on the
She had a
all-inclusive
good day
in
off.
Mexico.
She's a little hungover.
She went to the Star Wars premiere. Got a little too lit.
One more question.
Yeah. So
Can someone
so
bring me
loud.
a Gatorade, please?
Erik.
Love how I start my day. Some breakfast tacos with a cup of coffee, AJ, and an amazing show.
That's why.
Love you guys.
There you go. That's how you got to do it. Love you too.
RB3, thank you for that donation.
Yeah, that's right.
That was huge.
I don't need this movie to be Empire, don't need it to be New Hope. As long as it is like Revenge, a fun but flawed movie with great visuals, then I'm happy. I will tell the critics who hated both Last Jedi and this to suck my galactic schlong. I have spoken.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I think you're going to enjoy it because that's what it is.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
So obviously the Rotten Tomatoes score came out this
Like
morning.
55,
Is
right?
that 55?
Yeah.
Do you think that's justified or?
I
That's
understand
critic
why.
score?
Yeah, I understand, but I understand why people. You got
I'm
to
shocked.
and give me. I'm not. Give me the critics score for Last Jedi. It's like
It's 90,
It's
96.
like 96 because, like I said, most of the critics that I've talked to and seen, that their big problem was that it was this big apology to Last Jedi, and the critics loved Last Jedi. I mean, I saw a
I feel like
couple
Force
of,
Awakens too. I feel like it's 70 something or
but
80 something.
right, but more so on
Last Jedi is 91%.
right. And so this was. I'm telling you, it was a complete. It feels like it's definitely catering to the complaints of what Last Jedi was. And I think a lot of people who love Last Jedi, a lot of those critics, saw it like that and went the opposite way.
Is that the lowest Star Wars score?
No.
It's higher than most of the prequels.
Prequels? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
I was going to
look
say,
that
I
up.
feel like
Let me
it's
look it up.
probably close.
I think Attack of the Clones maybe.
Yeah.
But even I remember the prequels didn't get that. The scores weren't that bad.
I
for
feel
the
like, like Phantom Menace and Force Awakens will automatically have higher scores because of the hype.
right.
And, but
It's actually Rise of Jedi
Happy
is currently the second
holidays,
lowest.
peeps.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that Brett should be the sexiest man alive?
Yeah.
He already is.
That man is fire. A giant bag of man candy.
I like that.
I like
I
that
know.
tone.
At first
I've never
I was
heard
like,
giant bag of
fat man. I was like, fat man. How dare? Oh, that man. Okay, my mistake.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
So for Rotten Tomatoes, actually, Attack of the Clones is higher than
Oh, wow.
Rise of Skywalker. Attack of the Clones is at 65.
65.
And the lowest
Great
live action
believe
movie is
the
Phantom Menace.
overall toxicity for movies is residue from the toxicity in our sad, but that is why we have shows like yours to offset it. My donation is also thanks for Kate and her gifts to you all.
Thank you, Walt.
Happy
thank you.
holidays.
Thank you so much.
That's nice, Walt.
Is it higher than Solo?
Thanks,
sorry,
Will.
sorry to keep asking about that. Is it higher than Solo?
Yeah, Solo.
Solo people liked it. Also critics
Yeah,
liked it.
Solo's at 70%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. This is eRig71 said, I've wanted to ask you for months, why does the Skywalker story have to end? I was looking forward to Luke's offspring furthering the story. I just wanted your thoughts because just like you, Last Jedi just wasn't my favorite. I think it's what Ben says. I think there's too much expectations on it right now. I think there's too much that connects to it that I think that you're better off served if you have brand new characters. You can still take a lot of the things that made Star Wars special with Jedi lore and all these things and even not Jedi lore. Look at what Mandalorian is doing and has brought you into familiar territory with new characters. I think that's the way to go to get people back on board with this thing because it's the expectations and everything else too. And I really hope that this is proved that you need clear-cut direction as far as what you're going to do. I hope that it says like, okay, look, put somebody in, whether it's Favreau, Filoni, whoever, that you have the same way you have showrunners on a television series, you need showrunners for your movies, and you need someone that's going to be able to connect the dots and say, this is where we want to start. We want to start here. We want to end here. Director one, you're coming in. We're going to have 3 different directors, but they're all following this particular through line.
And and it's funny because a lot of people point to the original Star Wars trilogy as like, oh, they had 3 different directors. That's where they were kind of going for. But it did have George Lucas all throughout. Like,
It had him all
every
he
single
was
script.
and
so
it's
his ideas. and
absolutely, and because Irwin Kershner had to fight with them to get certain things going, but and because George wanted the I love you, I know it was a day he wasn't on set and they did it and he wanted it out, and then he saw the way it played in the theater and he left it in. But he was you're 100% right. He was the guy that was running the creative all the way through, because you can kind of he directed the third
Return of the
movie.
Jedi,
Come on, Mark 1 was kind of there, but Lucas really directed that movie. But you're absolutely right, and they need someone like that to be able. And he obviously directed and connected all the prequels, and I think that was the error. I think for that movie that he should have done exactly what he did on the OT and had 3 different directors for those movies. But
this was an uphill battle.
It was
from the beginning. I mean, like for you, I'm not from the originals, but like after that, I mean,
Do you think that Marvel and Kevin
do.
Feige has a breaking point since you, Kristian Harloff, said Marvel HASNT exploded yet with a divisive fandom? I will continue in Super Chat.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it certainly seems like it can. I mean, because there are certainly people who hate the Marvel movies and hate it, but it's not the inside. Like the Star Wars fandom exploded from the inside. That's what happened to it, and it's not it when. And I remember when we were doing, because it wasn't like this after Force Awakens, like you said. People didn't like the movie, but people were
even
still,
after Rogue One, people were happy.
People were still happy after Rogue One. It was still, and I remember being on Jedi Council going, "Oh man, this is a very," because I was seeing all the stuff happening with the other fandoms and going, "Oh, it's not like this here," and then it's the worst out of all of them, like hands down. But it is what it is, and it's just you just gotta try to like, this is why I've been saying it for a while. I'm just very excited that Star Wars has made its way to television. Yeah. Because if it just sticks to television and I don't ever see a movie again, I don't give a shit. I really don't.
Yeah,
I really don't
think it's
care.
do or die time for Marvel. Like that Black Widow trailer helped. That was a good trailer. But now that Tony Stark is gone, Captain America's gone, like their heavy hitters are gone now. So now it's like whole new thing.
Oh, was that in the last movie?
That movie made $4 billion. You were the only one that hasn't seen it.
Okay, it's always
I
sunny.
literally chuckle every time the SCHMOEBOT interrupts Brett and he says Hammond. Looks toward the screen. Fucking hysterical every time.
They got it in there. How did he get that in there? Look at him.
Thanks again, Will.
Yeah, it's always sunny in Philly. Thank you for that, Will. SEN fam, first I agree, Kristian, that Richard Jewell deserves more love than it's getting. It's being overlooked. I know this will be the topic, but I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Skywalker. But the big question of the day is, how was Cats? Anyone see it? No, but I heard it was the worst movie of all time.
Really?
I heard it was
Well,
so bad.
So here's something. I grew up on the musical.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, does everybody agree it was the worst movie
don't
of
know.
all time, or do people who don't have a concept of the musical?
No. I heard from somebody who
Are we
going to
talk about Cat Schlong now?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Cat.
Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it, but
big news
to
story.
go along with.
How's it doing on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, I'll look right now.
How is that movie doing on Rotten
Oh my
Tomatoes?
God! If it's
Oh my
doing-
God!
I missed out on that
50?
yesterday.
What?
Yeah, I missed out on that. I was going to see that movie yesterday,
You
but I
saw
didn't
Star Wars twice instead.
It's true. Well, I wanted to make sure, especially for spoiler review, like that I had enough information. You can
Also,
turn
how
it-
crazy that
no tomato score yet.
No tomato.
how
Maybe
crazy that
this is
Kylo
embargo.
Ren is going through a divorce the whole movie.
Right?
I think you saw the wrong film.
Oh shit!
Damn it!
Anyway, so what was the question there? Oh, Richard Jewell. Yeah, I saw Richard Jewell. You saw it.
Loved it.
You didn't
Yeah.
like it that much.
It felt as much about, like, Richard Jewell's story is crazy and needs to be told.
Yeah.
I don't need a hit piece on The Reporter as well.
Oh.
Olivia Wilde comes in. Let's do some tequila shots. Fuck you other reporters, because my stories are doing good. I'm going to go fuck John Hamm. All right, peace out. That's literally her fucking intro. So right off the gate, you're like, she's bad.
Right.
The Reporter killed herself
Did she?
because of this.
Oh, because of the movie?
No. Because of what
Just for
she
laughs.
did.
So then,
Jingle SLONG, jingle SLONG, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun
She's
it
so
is
good. Our
to
timing's
ride.
impeccable.
Pony horse open sleigh, hey, jingle SLONG, jingle SLONG, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is.
undefeated.
That's for everybody that says, I think the SCHMOEBOT's going to get a little bad after a while. No.
Nope. Understood. I didn't realize because of everything. Because it. So here's the thing. It was leaked. The story was leaked, and she was the one who leaked it.
No. I'm not saying
But
that
you-
what
but
she
it's the
didn't
reason-
do was wrong. She
Right.
should have, like, vetted more. I don't know this person, obviously,
Right.
but it felt like for a movie that's saying, the media should be careful about what they say. This giant media movie directed by a really good director is saying, fuck this person.
Well, I disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. Because this may in fact be if the goal is the only thing that was in question was whether or not she did sleep with the one guy, but we don't know that tequila shots wasn't true. We don't know
Very true.
that. So what I'm saying is, if that is the real situation, if these are real stories, I have to imagine the only thing I've read that's controversial is the implication that she's not only implication.
Then cut the scene. Why do you need that scene in the movie?
Totally, but you're talking about in general
I'm
the
just
way
saying,
they
like,
set it up. But here's the thing: if
how
you're
they
going to
set it
show
up.
facts, if that's the way that this woman did it, and you're saying this woman felt bad enough to kill herself about it, I got to believe some portion of that is true.
But also, it's coming from a director, Clint Eastwood, about Sully that had this whole trial of how he didn't do anything wrong. There was never a trial for Sully. No one ever thought the pilot did anything wrong in that thing. He completely fabricated an entire trial. And so...
There were
I
hearings.
liked a lot of
But the
things.
movie itself,
Yeah.
you are talking about one particular scene, right? And everything that
Yes.
happened and
Yeah.
the social implications of it, that's a different subject. The movie itself, as far as what Richard Jewell went through,
It's
as
crazy.
far as what, that's why I don't want to take it from the actor, because I don't disagree with you that that particular thing there, like, it maybe could have, like, if they didn't
All
know.
of this extreme behavior is making me exhausted of Star Wars might need a break from. The movies
Agreed.
will most likely skip the new film.
Wow.
Anyway, keep on rocking on with the great content.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. But I do recommend watching The Mandalorian. But going back to what you were saying, I think that
another Mandalorian check comes in.
that's right. If
We get residuals.
But yeah, if they knew if they didn't know that was not a fact and that happened, I agree with you. Then maybe you probably shouldn't have had that in there, because what it does is that it takes away, because right away, you who are watching it, you didn't even review the whole movie. You just went after that scene. You didn't review the movie. You just went because of that scene. Because you said all of that stuff that just happened there. That was enough to take you out of it, and that's what the director should
Messed
not
up
do.
my
So that's the one
previous
thing.
donation, so it was missed. Rot is a good attempt by JJ. I like it. Hated The Last Jedi. I love this show and crew. Kate and Winston are fire. Found Harlow through watching Schnepp. I miss Schnepp.
Me too.
Shit rats tribute all round, please.
Totally, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
But anyway,
No,
so
but yeah, the performances are great.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell,
the main kid, the main dude,
guy who plays Richard Jewell
His
is
name is Paul
Walter
Hauser.
Hauser.
right.
So good.
Yeah.
Kathy Bates, great. And like John Hammond.
Isn't it a little strange she's nominated for Best Supporting? She didn't do anything more special than she
I
normally
thought she was
does.
pretty good in it.
She's great.
I thought she was
She's
great.
great. She's always
She's
great.
Kathy
I actually
Bates,
thought
like-
she was a
She's
lot
never not great.
softer in this movie than she normally. She's usually got like a battle. She's usually kind of
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
I think that
That's true. But
she had a great
she's
scene
always
where
great.
she does like the speech about
The press conference?
in
Yes.
general,
Oh,
and
so
that was when
I
I
watched
didn't
the
see
original.
Olivia Wilde as a bad guy there because of how she did feel during that conference. So I really enjoyed the movie a lot. I think it should get a lot more attention.
Well, and she also
However,
rewalks the steps to make sure. Yeah.
Yes.
She's the one that discovers she
yes,
was wrong.
but I do feel that should have been handled.
It
way
should
better.
have. And that's the thing is, I don't want to take too much away from the movie because he should get nominated. Both Sam Rockwell
Right.
and Paul Walter Hauser for sure should get
But
nominated.
it is taken away from the movie. It clearly took it away from
Yeah.
you, and it took it from other people, because when I asked you, you said it was all right, and then when I said, why did you think it was all right, and you went to that scene.
Yeah.
It wasn't the movie, it was that scene.
Well,
so
no,
it was...
it was even beyond that. You called it a hit piece on the report.
right, and that was...
Well, like, yeah, it felt like one. It felt like two movies. Like, I'm gonna tell this story, which should be told because I was 9 when it came out. And I remember Muhammad Ali lighting the thing,
yeah.
but I don't remember.
I don't.
The-
I
no
agree.
scandal.
That was the
agree.
whole...
I
That's
know.
that's the craziest part about this
Yeah.
movie and why this movie should be told, because even me going into it, and I remember it very much so, I said... And even Ellis, when I was talking to him, I was like, "Did he do it?" And he's like, "Oh, I wish I would have known that you didn't." He didn't do it, and we should know.
We
that
should
he
know
didn't
this.
do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we should
It's,
know
it's
that, yeah.
crazy. Anyway, It's Always Sunny in Philly. Disney Plus question. I know the majority of people have watched The Mandalorian. However, have any of you watched the other programming? I love Disney Parks, so the Imagineering story is incredible. It's only 6 episodes in about an hour. I highly recommend it. Arbitha, you watched it?
I watched the pilot of it.
Pretty good?
It was really, really good. Yeah.
No, I didn't see that, but I mean, I've watched a little bit of the Jeff Goldblum stuff.
I watched Noelle.
How was that?
Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
It's It's like a Hallmark movie.
Okay.
It's got a good beginning and a really good sentimental end. The middle's a little slow, but Anna Kendrick is such a fucking gem.
Yeah,
she
is.
carries that movie on her shoulders.
She's great.
It's so good.
I watched Lady and the Tramp with my daughter. I wouldn't say this in front of my daughter because she loved it, but I couldn't. I didn't like it at all.
Is it like Lion King, like super realistic animals, or?
I mean, you know, they don't have the budget that Lion King had, but you can tell that they're talking dogs, that it's CGI. But I mean, that's not what bothered me. It took so much away from.
Morning.
Good morning
First
to you.
time contributor, but
Thank you,
long
Troy.
time fan.
Thank you, Troy.
I've been following Yo since the AMC days. Wanted to give what I can as a thanks for all that you do. I was gonna say hello after the Chicago SCHMOEBOT, but didn't get a chance.
Well-
Hope you all come back.
Well, we are going to come back. Thank
As
you.
a Star Wars fan and a Mark
Person.
Hamill fan, have you seen the series Nightfall, and if so, is it good? Not sure where to watch it though, sadly.
I heard it's not that good. Did you watch it?
I haven't.
Yeah, I heard it's not that good.
That remind me of Nightfall, your movie.
Oh, Night Falls.
Yeah, Nightfall.
I remember that. That was
The
a great
classic
episode.
Night Falls.
So answer the question. Phineas and Ferb was on full repeat when my daughter was sick.
Oh,
What?
nice. Hey.
That makes
I
sense.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, how is she doing? Is she all right now?
We flew to Mexico on Thursday.
Right.
She had 103 fever on the plane,
holy
and we
crap.
had to keep checking her temperature. And then the first couple of days, we kind of eased her in. We'd take her to the pool for a little bit, come back, and
Right.
we had to trade off. But she ended up having a good time. But it was tough. And she hasn't been sick in years.
And she got it right before vacation. That's nice.
The kids, they are, honest to God, I wish we could monetize it somehow. That I can
A, B, C,
guarantee.
D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S,
What about
T,
T?
U, V,
Okay.
W,
What
X,
about-
Y, and Z.
and-
Now I
okay,
know
fine.
my reprogramming.
Okay, good.
Complete.
Thank you.
What a perfect pause.
That was a perfect pause.
Uh,
But I feel like kids, they just like, it's like, oh, we have a play date today. And then like all of a sudden one of them pukes. You're
Yeah.
like, I guess we don't have a play date today.
It's Always Sunny in Philly. Have you guys ever seen the transformation of Kamal for the
my
Eternals? I know he's
God.
jacked. It's insane. He also says on his post that he would have never been able to do this without Marvel paying for the whole thing, which is great because he's honest and that's fresh. Yeah, of course. You get the
Shit is
trainer and
crazy.
he's jacked up, man. He looks good.
Personal
great.
chef.
Yeah, he looks good.
But
probably.
yeah, that's what the always Mac from Always Sunny said. He's like, oh guys, anyone can do this. All you need is a personal chef, a personal trainer, 9
Yes.
hours of sleep.
Right.
Don't
Yes.
need anything you like,
Yes.
and don't have a regular job because
Yeah.
this will be your full-time job.
Yeah.
And that's what Camille said. He was like, my wife was annoyed for this year. Like, don't put like too much pressure on yourself because I had all the assets to do this.
Right.
This is
But
Camille
he's
and
like,
Johnny?
Yes.
yeah,
He's jacked.
He's veiny,
He's cut.
jacked, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks good.
I knew him back in Chicago. He used to do stand up. It was like TJ Miller, this guy Mike Bridenstine that I would hang out with, and then and Kumail. And Kumail had one of the funniest jokes of all time. He was talking about a board game. He's like how girls get like board games like Slumber Party or whatever. He's like, I'm coming up with a board game called Cook Until You Shop.
Jesus.
His joke from the
was
Big
so
Sick,
funny.
his
Look until
his
you
9/11 joke from the Big Sick. Did you guys see
No.
that? Oh, watch the Big Sick because it has the funniest joke.
Yeah, you shouldn't say it.
I'm not going to say it. That's why I'm not going to say it at all.
No,
Blake,
let's all go around and tell our favorite 9/11.
Blake says probably not a coincidence that the two Deborah Chow episodes are the best of the Mandalorian. Seven's got to be my new favorite. Love this episode so much. Can't wait for finale.
7 and 3, right? She was 3.
Seven's my favorite. 3 is my second.
Yeah.
Both done by her.
Yeah.
7,
3 was
3,
my favorite.
2, 1, then 4. Oh no, so
6,
sorry, no
6.
4 or 6. 6 actually comes in. It's
Yeah.
7 to
736.
736. That's correct.
736.
Those are my 3 favorites. And I am looking forward to seeing what Taika does to clean this whole thing, or to finish this whole thing
Me
up.
too.
man.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
and that's next week, not this week. So I will be doing a spoiler review of that. for
Perfect
sure.
marketing by Disney, though. Have this come out Wednesday, then you have Rise of Skywalker on the weekend, and then next weekend end the year with Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yeah. Knapsack's ponytail. Oh, it's good to have him. Excuse me.
Oh,
Bless you.
1 of 3. I'm excited for the spoiler ban being taken away from the Schmoedown for season 7. Not being able to hear or read thoughts until a week and a half later makes the events lose their luster a little. Would like to be it would be like Netflix telling their viewers not to talk about Stranger Things for a week after they watch the season. I get not everyone can watch it or pay the price for the streams or Patreon, but if you really want to avoid the spoilers, it's just simple. Hell, even if you do get spoiled, half the fun of the Schmoedown, at least for me, is playing along with the trivia. So when a match is spoiled for me, I'm still watching it for the trivia. As long as no one is throwing in spoilers as their video thumbnails, it's a great decision. Oh, thank you. That was kind of the idea of it. Okay. Because I just can't. I mean, I get it. I'm not going to tell. It's not one of these things that I'm telling people. Well, you don't like it? Pay for it. No, I understand that. Not everybody can do it. You can't be a patron. You can't be a patron. If you can, great. You can go up there and you can sign up for the dollar tier, and you'll get the live streams, albeit a little later, but you'll still get them. But if you can't, then just the same way that you would avoid movie spoilers. Like, we just can't be responsible for people not doing it. It's like, and we want the competitors to be excited about their wins. We want people to be able to, right afterwards, if they win a belt, they hold it up and they take a picture of it and they tweet it out. It's like, and it's also hard for people to keep the spoilers down. It's like, well, when Roka every time, when can I talk about this? When am I allowed to? Because he spoils it all the time because he gets excited about it. So yeah, that's just the way it's going to be, and it'll be next season, especially when we're going so full into the draft.
Can you do like a closed Facebook group where people
have one. They have a spoiler group that people talk about, but it's still, if you want to treat it like a sport, you got to treat it like a sport. Yeah. And it's like, the World Series doesn't say, hey guys, don't talk about this for a week so everybody can catch up. It's like, it's silly.
Can I make Kate eat a little shit real quick?
Sure.
Because Kate threw me so hard under the bus about the bagel thing, and then was talking all this shit to Ben Bateman about how Bibbs is going to win, and then if Bateman wins, Oyama's going to beat him.
Yeah.
And I tapped Kate on the shoulder in the theater, and I was like, I'm going to make you eat so much shit.
But I will say this, though. Here's the one thing that I will say a little bit for Kate. Kate came up to me before the event started.
Yeah.
In the downstairs in the green room. It was right when the expo.
We were like shoving food in our mouths.
It had just ended, and Janine hadn't even come in, and she goes, I changed my mind. Ben's going to take it all. She did say it.
Oh, okay.
She did say it.
I didn't. I still didn't know Oyama.
Okay.
But I said about Bibbs.
Bibbs. She said about Bibbs. She just
yeah.
and it's so funny because she said that she just thought that because Bibbs is Bibbs wants to meet the fans and everything too, but he stands and he gets so.
On a lighter note, besides having a successful Schmo network, what's all of you guys' personal goals for 2020? Hashtag Team Cast Iron Brett.
Aww.
2020. I think it's one of these things that's just trying to be. It's always trying to. So I'm reading. I was reading Iger's book, right? And it's like these little minutia things that like get us upset when you realize just how big and how the world is and how all these things just kind of happen in life and other things that people have to deal with. And like when he was setting up one of the Thailand park, I think, which is like, I don't know, it's like $4 billion or something like $6 billion to set up. And while he was going through that, the Orlando shooting happened. And the first thing that happens inside of that is that he gets phone calls of potential employees that were there and things because they have over, I don't know, it's like 200,000 employees across the.
It's like a mini city over there. It's crazy.
But it's like, but just there's always people that in anything that happens, that's the kind of, and he's got to be informed of this stuff. And then I think 2 weeks later, the little 2-year-old got taken by the alligator.
That was the same year.
And he had to then, when you realize the human side of it, he's this businessman, he's done all these things. But then he's got to get he decided, he didn't have to, he got on the phone with the family. And he had conversations with them, and he just said, what can we do? And you got to be, and he says in the book, because sometimes they advise you against this kind of stuff because legally, but I wanted to call as a father and as a grandfather, and he's like, actually, my advisor said that you should do that. And he said, what can we do? And the parents said, just make sure this doesn't happen to anyone again. And he said, with his employees and the phone calls within the next day, they set up barriers and did all these things and everything. But it just, there's so much more in the world going on in general and things that people have to deal with that as much as, and I'm guilty of it all the time, is that like, I realize that there are people in general who go through things and they're in pain or they're angry and stuff too. And especially on the other side of the computer, you don't know if they're coming after you personally, why they're doing it. You don't know what it is. And I'm trying to be less judgmental on people. That's what I want to try to do for next year. I want to try to just run this. I want to, to be completely honest with everybody out there too, if someone said you can only do one thing, and all you want to do, I would just run the Schmoedown. I would not do, and sorry, I wouldn't do this show.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do, I love doing this show, but I would run the Schmoedown. That's what I would do. And I would, because I wake up every day hoping that I can do more and more to turn that thing into what I envision it to be. That's what I want to do, because I have the most fun doing that. I have a lot of fun doing this show, more so than I've had in a long time doing any show. Mm-hmm. But talking movies and the perfect example is Rise of Skywalker. It's become a lot less fun. I like talking about what we talk about, the goofing around, answering these questions, having these little discussions. To me, that's more satisfying than what the movie space has turned into.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be judgmental of people. I don't want to do that anymore. So that's what I'm looking forward to do.
I just want to say that you first said I was your second choice for Rise of Skywalker, and then you said you don't want to do the thing where you sit next to me every day.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I want to find a new friend in 2020.
Yeah.
And then you did this whole touching story that I was like, mine was get more BJs. And I was like,
from who?
It's not specified.
Yeah. Well, funny, Ben's is to give more now.
It's a match made in heaven.
Oh
man.
God.
My goal for 20, that was actually very nice.
you.
yes,
by the way.
yes, very nice.
Yeah, that was super nice.
That was super nice when you hooked me up. My initial thought was like, I want to be doing more stand up in 2020. Like that's like a career goal. I want to be doing more stand up. The other thing is, my family has been in a tough spot for a couple of years, and there could be a lot of changes coming for us in the new year, and I'm just gonna try to make peace with them. I'm gonna just try to stop swimming up the stream, and I'm gonna try and lay in the river and let it take me. And that has been so hard for me. So 2020 is about being Baloo and the Jungle Book and the river.
Hey,
I like that.
Like
RB3.
For me, just advancing more in my career. Hopefully, timestamp will be out for the public to consume my short film, and then maybe get some attention somewhere. I don't know. Kind of goes like that. You know?
When is that coming out?
Sometime next year.
Okay,
we'll
great.
see. Yeah, we're gonna do like festivals first, and then
great.
Pen?
Can't wait to see that.
Kind of the same thing. Growing my like personal brand. Like I've been streaming lately, video games and stuff, and that's been a lot of fun. I love doing the show too. So and then doing well in the Schmoedown, and honestly going home more. I only went home a few times this year, and they're only a few hours away, so I need to go home more because parents are getting older.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I would give everybody out there, too. I mean, especially after, I experienced a pretty big loss last year in my family, and it's one of those things, just keep, you just never know what's going to happen. So, and a friend of mine was having some problems with his sibling, and I said, I'm telling you, man, you just never know.
Yeah. So
you just try to, little things sometimes, even things that you think are big, and that, we're never going to come back from this. When it's too late, you realize that you probably could have come back from it. Just, that's what it is. Now, Brett, tell a shit joke or something.
No, for real though. There's an old song I like, and it's one of the lyrics is, "Brother, I ain't broke, but I'm badly bent," and I feel like I've been badly bent for a long time. I've been living in this like I'm 45 years old, and I'm not getting any auditions. I'm not doing, and that was my goal to come out here. So that getting in that headspace has sometimes made me not present with my children, which is all I ever wanted to do was have children. And it's for right now, it's me being present for my children, not having that be the goal, and hopefully that kind of stems off of that. If I get in a better headspace and I feel better about myself and exercise and take care of my head, then maybe I can be more motivated to do those things. But I had some friends that had a horrible incident this year. This kind of set things off, and being a friend to them. And I think a big thing, sometimes we think about the issues we have with ourselves, but if you have somebody that's going through something, and you're afraid to talk to them because it's a horrible thing. They just want you to listen to them, and they don't want any advice. They just want you to listen and just be empathetic. Yeah. And so if you have anybody that's dealing with something, I just want to say that's something that will help you too, because being a friend to somebody that's gone through a tragedy is good.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah, well said.
How the SCHMOEBOT did not interrupt that.
I know.
Is a record.
Well, the SCHMOEBOT is on, everybody. Let everybody know as we get through.
By the way, I'd like to point out she has not spoiled anything. I told you they are good humans.
Now you just taunting.
They're good humans. I'm telling you, I trust them.
I talk to the pitcher when he's had a perfect game.
I trust you all.
All right.
And I love you.
All right, here we go. Fantastic beefs. Kristian, I know you had a problem with the humor in The Last Jedi. Is the humor in Rise of Skywalker more natural and more Star Wars? And is it actually funny? There is some stuff that I thought, like I said, there's a couple new characters that it fit in, and it reminded me of the same way they use humor in Mandalorian.
Last my wife on Star Wars Day 2018, and last thing I said to her is, "May the Force protect you." That was the last smile I got from her. On happier note, Kate, that shirt is SC Longtastic. Where did you get it?
Oh, yeah, where did you get that? At Disneyland?
Nope.
Where'd you get it?
Walmart.com.
Perfect. Very nice of you, and thank you for sharing the beautiful moment. And very sorry for your loss.
So sorry.
Yeah. CP 8. Did I answer that last question? Oh yeah, the humor. So I felt a lot of jokes actually worked and felt like it was part of it, and there was some stuff that there was like only a couple. There was way less of jokes that I said, that doesn't fit, and I still don't think
Isaac. I was on Oscar Isaac about that clip. I was he's not that good. He's very funny.
He was good in this. He's
really good.
The Poe is.
I love everything he's done, but he was great in this.
Poe's an imbecile in The Last Jedi, but he's not.
I was gonna say, did he say any mama jokes in this one?
No, he's not an imbecile in this one. Like they give him a little bit more of a back history, a little bit too.
I didn't mind that part. I thought that was
He didn't
funny.
say a yo mama joke in The Last Jedi.
No.
In the
He said your mom is on the phone.
She said no yo mama joke. I didn't say
No, I'm just saying everything.
But it is. But it's still. It was a terrible joke.
I love that joke.
I do too.
It would have been great when it was in. If they would have recycled it and put it in a Marvel movie, but it's just like it. This is the why is Hux running this? Why is he allowed? If he falls for that, why is he allowed to run this whole fleet? He's a fucking idiot. And so's Poe. Don't do that. Why? Because you've been following me since the beginning, and in the Force Awakens, it's clearly set up that you respect and do everything that I ask you to do. Okay, but for some reason in this movie, you're an idiot. Oh, you just lost us all the bombers, and you're very excited about. Okay, and then you're gonna send
around by Lord Dern.
Oh, everything. He's an imbecile. He's not an imbecile in this movie. CP876 saw a couple of reviews that said Rey, Kylo, Palpatine, and Leia were the only important characters, and that Poe and Finn were basically repetitive throughout. I hope not, because I was really hoping to see Finn come full circle. No, Finn has a lot more to do in this movie for sure. He's got a lot more.
I disagree with those reviews.
Yeah,
Seeing TROS on Friday, and I just hope for some cool, epic-looking moments. I feel the same as you, Kristian, when it comes to TLJ, so I'm happy that this seems better and that it's rewatchable. Also, did you fix Fallen Order? P.S. Merry Christmas, ERMFs.
I haven't tried since I complained about that scene, but I'm gonna just try to slash everything, and hopefully that helps. But no, I haven't done it.
Thank you, Eric, with the K.
Thank you, Eric. Yes. It was very nice of you. And I hope you enjoy it. Look, I hope we're gonna piece out our non-spoiler review. We'll put it up on the channel, and then we'll do a spoiler review. Probably. I mean, I always think that you should wait at least until like a Thursday or Friday when it comes out.
So Kate can just change her mind. I've been shilling to Bateman as a general in action. Army for 5 long months, and as soon as we can trash talk, she changed her mind. Oh well, at least the internet is unified and happy about Star Wars.
That's good. I like that.
Well done.
We didn't get to finish that SCHMOEBOT. I said about Bibbs. We got SCHMOEBOT, and I know, great question, the 2020 thing. But I had said to you, I could tell, because Bibbs, he has a bad knee. He couldn't sit down.
Right.
He doesn't.
He was standing for the whole expo.
He was standing for the whole
was?
expo.
Oh my
Yes, he does.
gosh.
Because he said, he's like, some chairs, if I sit down, I can't get back up. So he was standing the whole expo. People obviously love him. He is the warmest. Like every picture I took for him, he's like. And so everything I say about Bibbs, I stand by.
It takes it out of you.
Yeah. I said to you, I was like, I'm exhausted after the expo, and nobody was even trying to talk to me. You know what I mean? It was like,
no, after doing the fan competitions, I was done.
Well, remember,
It's
really,
like hanging out with your
Bateman,
in-laws,
Bateman
you know what I
didn't,
mean?
and Bateman didn't get up. Bateman sat there, signed autographs. So he didn't get up.
And I also have to say something about Bateman is that, like, I realize I understand the game so much more now that I've seen it.
Because of him too.
Yeah, and he's playing a character, and I get it now.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you like him more now?
I have always liked Ben Bateman, the guy, but I
character.
don't like the
But
character.
now you like the character.
Now I understand the character because the character, that's effing smart to be able to
And he
sit
wins.
there. Yeah. I mean, he missed like a very easy one, but then he got a bunch of hard ones.
To TKO
also,
Bibbs, and then KO Oyama because he just outplayed. He just outplayed them both. He just outplayed them both.
But I also have to say the wheel does factor into the Bibiani Bateman match.
Of course it does.
No,
yeah, but that's
I'm
part of
just
the
saying,
game.
No, I know it's part of the game.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like that definitely. I do think there's a world in which Bibbs maybe still could have made a run. Oyama choked so hard. No offense, Paul. I love you. But I'm saying but the wheel definitely was
Paul definitely
not
choked,
in Bibiani's
but
favor. Bibiani was
they
at least
went 0
closer.
for 8 on classics. It's not like Ben was like, oh, steal.
No,
I know.
He
They
made
both
hard
did.
questions.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
Those are harder
those
questions.
Those are hard questions.
Hard.
Well, I
Yeah,
love.
Except for
I
Miracle
actually,
on 34th Street. Something
right. I actually loved Oyama's line. He said, "I know classics. I just didn't know those classics."
Yeah. I think I said to someone, I was sitting either next to Kate or somebody, like when Paul got classics, like he should take this because Ben will not get these.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Ben didn't. And
Yeah.
Paul should have gotten them.
I was gonna say like the strategy is really smart because classics never gets picked a lot. So
Right.
then usually when the category doesn't get picked a lot, there's usually surface level.
Tried it,
questions.
yeah.
Totally.
And
So
so
it just didn't work.
I'm
out.
just saying, I feel like the Bibbs match was closer at least. with
easily,
Bateman.
yeah,
It was
sure.
easily-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
think
just
that
saying,
was the one
wheel-
Bateman said. There's a good
Yeah.
interview that the Rundown guys did with Bateman, and
Yeah.
he said, he's like, that was the match that I really, he's like, nothing against Paul, but I knew that I had to beat Bibiani. He's like, once I beat Bibiani, I knew I had it.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
Yeah.
It was like quick moment. I was in the action industries chat, and they shouted me out and like, oh yeah, Ben's always giving me shit about I have the Top Magic podcast or whatever. Him and Kate, and he's like, and Andrew guy was like so nice. He's like, but you do. I was like, okay, that's friendship
funny,
right there.
yeah.
It's just like
So
didn't even
sweet.
miss a beat.
No.
It's like, but you do.
And speaking of Andrew Guy, by the way, what you talk about wrestling, that was one of the reasons why I couldn't spoil. Someone asked last week about who you thought if you can compare them to wrestlers, and I said Andrew Guy would be The Rock, because when The Rock went from being that ultra heel that everyone loved to boo to becoming the face, the crowd went crazy when he turned face. When you look at when we scan down after Burnett goes nuts and you see the foliage and you go down and then you pan down and there's Andrew Guy, the crowd went crazy. And like he's going to be one of the biggest. He's going to be one of the biggest names I think next season.
Absolutely.
For sure. Like,
People
Also,
love that
Kevin
guy.
Smets, that's the MVP for me.
I mean, he loved
Oh my
it.
God, that was
And you love Kalinowski. Yeah.
And I loved Kalinowski.
Yeah.
Kalinowski, I got to tell you, Smets, man, that was bonkers.
I know.
I mean,
That was the biggest surprise to me because I was like, Mike doesn't need the team's belt anymore. He is focused. I would.
I think he psyched himself out.
Yeah.
I think this whole season. I think the season was just too. I mean, people don't realize what Mike went through. Mike played in 3. What are you doing there, Brett? What do you need?
I'm setting up.
Breaking news: Netflix to reboot He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Sources.
Well, they already said that. that's been out there for a while. That
I was gonna let Arnold take my place for a second while I go pee, but I'll give my whole report on the matches.
when you get back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, but we have so many questions
Okay,
to
yeah,
go.
sorry.
Streamlabs.
We literally have like 100
We have so many
Okay,
questions.
okay,
Streamlabs
sorry,
and
sorry,
super chat. So
sorry,
let's try to get through. Angel P, what did you guys think of the In Heights trailer, and how do you think it will perform at the box office in comparison to Spielberg's
I
West
think
Side? I
what
didn't see it
people
either.
hate the most about this trilogy is what they do with the original. Example, they turned Han Solo into a divorced deadbeat dad who can't get his shit together and gets killed by his brat. Are they all idiots?
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
last few words.
I know what you're saying there. It was like you when they announced that the new trilogy was coming out, you thought that you were going to at least get the big 3 together, that it was going to, and it didn't. It was clearly to create this new cast, which I understand you got to create new characters, but I can also understand where the audience feels like at the expense of what we loved in the first place.
I know, but isn't that life? Like, aren't we all like? Don't
I
we
know.
all have so much promise, and
yeah.
then like it turns out our life is so different than what we thought it was
Right.
going
The
to
thing
be.
is, I liked Han and Leia getting back together. I loved the forehead kiss that Mark Hamill gave Carrie Fisher in Last Jedi.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what about
It-
In the Heights? Did you see that movie? The
No,
trailer?
I
didn't see
hear
it either.
nothing but great
So wait,
things
I didn't
about
see
it.
that.
they're doing the Lin-Manuel Miranda
Yeah.
musical
Yeah, I
as
didn't
a
I
as a
didn't see
movie.
it.
Interesting.
Okay, I have to look at it. We haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet, so we can't really
sorry.
answer. Sorry. Zoltan, waiting for the movie to start. Watch Jeremy's review. Not good. Yeah, no. I thought Jeremy Johns' review was pretty good. Eric, Kate, where the hell did you get that jumper sweater? Looks awesome to me. We already decided that is
it's not a,
Walmart.
it's a short sleeve.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's just that I wore a
Yeah, let me get mine off. Real quick,
That's
too.
right. Hotel Nerd put in a Schmobot. Suge Knight. Smets reminded me of Magic Johnson in 1984.
My boy, Shug! My boy!
When he had it, let me finish. When he had a chance to beat Boston and cost Lakers the championship, and it was on him. He came back with a mission and with one goal. Smets had one goal, and that was to beat KO. Also, Jordan never beat Boston.
Just like Tim Duncan and the Spurs lost to the Heat on some bullshit shot, and we came back next year and beat that ass.
That's right. Steez.
It's very different.
Smets played really good.
Oh, yeah.
Steez. I had to say it. I hate to say it, but I'm a casual fan of Star Wars, and Star Wars fans made me hate Star Wars. I just like a good movie, and I thought Last Jedi was a good movie, excluding the obvious poop. But I'm still going to see the movie because guess what? I love movies. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I get that too, and I think that's why the majority. Look, this is the nucleus and the core of how it is. You know, when the people talk, most people talking about
Sorry, thought that was breaking news today. Had too many drinks on my day off.
That's all right, Hotel.
No worries.
All good.
And good for you.
Yeah, but no, it's. I think that the most casual fans don't pay attention to stuff anyway. Like my dad's just gonna go see the movie and see whether he likes it.
I also have to say the other thing about Rise of the Skywalker, and I'll talk really quick because I know we have to keep going. But I felt like it had themes that are so applicable to today. And I know that people, like, if you're a diehard fan, you might be just looking at those themes within the lore. But I felt like it was. There's a moment. I'll talk to you about it off air, I guess. But
yes, you will.
No, but it basically But like there, and it reminded me of something that has historically happened recently.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Morse code Z. I've gone mostly dark around 6:30 Saturday, but wanted to throw a bit of support in preparation.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Just watched all the Star Wars movies to get ready for Rise of Skywalker. I really liked the Yoda Luke scene and Force Luke fighting Kylo in Last Jedi. What is the most underrated Skywalker saga moments?
Moment?
One of my favorites is just when Luke comes in to, I don't know if it's underrated, but when he comes in on Empire on Bespin, and it's just like, but you are not a Jedi yet.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite lines.
A lot of people don't talk about, I mean, it's when everyone remembers the scene, but I don't think it's always brought up, is that whole scene when Yoda's first introduced, and he's throwing all the shit. No! He's throwing all the shit around. Yeah.
You and I would be laughing at that.
Yeah,
You saw
easily.
that.
And then his turn, like when he's like, he goes from like, oh, Goofy, and then he's like, he's too old.
Yeah,
Just
right.
Like, turn.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
So good. Morse code Z. Who did that? Sorry. Tim Sim, who put in a Schmobot. Pretentious D-bag. Bonjour, Kristian. Once the nominations for singles entrances, teams entrances, and moments of the year announced, do I have your permission to make a compilation video of them to help people out with the voting? Been listening since the trial of JT. Absolutely. You guys want to make videos for the actual nominations once they come out. They should come out pretty soon. Did all the nominations. Patrons you can go, if you're a patron, $1 and up, you can go and you can nominate for the awards, and then the nominations will come out and patrons will
There were
vote.
a few snubs. I mentioned to you.
Who do you think was the big snub?
Well, the big snub was my entrance for the free-for-all. So
Right,
if you want to
that's
wr't
true.
that one in.
Yeah, you can write that one.
That one's...
But what about the Player of the Year one was the one that got you.
Berkowitz.
Yeah.
Carol the Brick Berkowitz. Nary a single vote.
They didn't even bring her up.
They didn't even bring her up.
Yeah, Nary.
She killed it at the Schmingdegall.
He's derailing.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremiah Morris. I'm not watching this show until after I see Rise of Skywalker because, well, the Schmobot. But I have to say, Schmobot hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
I love Oyama in the Schmodown. He will always be one of my favorites, and I'm so proud of Smets. Yeah, I think Oyama's going to have a turnaround year. He's I mean, not even
He's a
turnaround year.
genius. I mean,
he's
he's not-
He's
yeah.
6-1. The kid won 6
No,
victories as a rookie and
I
defended
shouldn't
the
have said
title.
He choked. He didn't. That match didn't go his way.
Right.
It was very
had a
different
bad
than
match.
other matches he's had. Yeah,
I used to
he's
watch
also
the
good at
videos,
choke.
too.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
that?
Oh, no, he used to watch the meaning of, too, back in the day. Yeah.
Who? Oyama did?
Oyama did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Abton Good. Hey, Kate, how about you do your research? Magic Johnson was offered a Nike deal, but at the time, Nike was a new company and wasn't able to offer him that much money like Converse did. Just stick with messing with Brett.
Oh, hold that. Hold it back.
Shut your ass down, girl.
Well, I just have
Easy,
to say-
Kate. Easy, girl.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, okay, that's fine. So he did not have a Nike deal in '83, but how come there still isn't a Nike deal for? How come he doesn't have Magic Johnson shoes that people?
It was
I'm
past
just
his prime,
saying.
past his prime.
The argument is
disrespectful.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, no, I'm saying you're disrespectful.
No. The question on the table was started by Shug, which was he thinks Magic Johnson is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. And it's just categorically not fact. You do some
You're
research.
talking about shoes, about being a better basketball player.
Yeah.
Shoe
I
deals
got
don't have
Thank
to
you,
do with
hard
anything.
off. Star
Of course
Wars
you do.
Rebels is fire. I'm hook on that show, but Ben, next time you go steal a bagel dress as the Grinch so we can say you are a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yes, please. Yeah, you should do
Of
that.
course, shoes has to do with it. If he
Reference to
wasn't the,
loving Star Wars series instead of the movies, I agree, as I am watching Rebels for the first time and I am loving it. Looking forward to Ross, and as I am concerned, Star Wars is still alive and well.
That's right.
I'm just gonna last part of my thesis. If
Okay.
you don't think the people wearing Michael Jordan's shoes has anything to do with the kind of basketball player he is, I don't know how to help you. Next.
All right, here we go. Here's
How many people are wearing LeBron shoes? Not a lot of people wear LeBron shoes, and he's 1A or number one of all time.
He's still playing the game. Michael Jordan hasn't played in how many years? Yeah. Do you really think that Magic Johnson's a better basketball player than Michael Jordan?
One-on-one, it's a toss-up in a game.
Listen, how many people are wearing orthopedic shoes?
Just another question for you. Do you have another 3 hours to read this up, or would you like to talk about fucking Jordan for another 2 hours?
This guy comes at me and
right,
says
Doran,
to just go back to messing with Brett.
Doran, hi,
No
Chris.
one took up the mantle on my behalf.
You to shut the fuck.
I'm not here for the next 2 weeks. You're gonna get your wish.
All right, Doran. Hey, Kristian. 3 to 5 years ago, I sent you a photo of me wearing a SCHMOEBOT shirt. 3.5 years ago, excuse me, in front of Microsoft Norway. 3.5 years later, I'm still following you and still have the T-shirt. I saw the Rise of Skywalker premiere in Oslo at 10 a.m. The movie was okay-ish, but I did think it saved the new trilogy's arc. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you're still checking out the show, and I'm glad you still have that shirt.
It's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm curious to what the majority of the fans will think of the movie, like what the critic score is, and then what the fan score is. We'll find out. Suge Knight 323, Kate. A shill for Jordan. How's that Nike check coming, Kate? You gonna see you soon in a Nike commercial? That's pretty good. ZCM Zombie Custom Maps. Did Ben steal Winston's Killmonger jean jacket? Mando episode was really good. Do you think that the Cassian show will be a limited series or have multiple seasons? I don't know about that one. That one's been kind of kept under wraps, man. That series, but I think it's they'll know as they. That's why I think they're not announcing whether things are going to be. They always say limited series because limited series can mean 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So let's see how it develops. Jar Jar, as disappointing as they were, at least the prequel trilogy had a through line planned out throughout. How would you rank each trilogy, and where would you place Episode 9 in your overall rankings? Too early for that.
When are you getting campy on the show? Want to see him break down like he did during movie talk while dealing with SCHMOEBOT. Did Skywalker deserve the schnepp teeth look?
No, it didn't deserve the teeth for sure. But and it's hard, man. Like I was supposed to do the Jedi, Dark Side Light Side yesterday, but he had something come up. He had to do some things, and then I was already going to be. It's hard for me to get over there in general, and on Tuesdays I go over Burbank, and it's even harder to get, as these guys will tell you, to get on this side, especially when he's doing his show every day. So it's just tough, but we're talking about it. B. Arthur can get it. Looking for that. Given the divisiveness of the new Star Wars trilogy, I think it's time
Good
for
day.
there we
Very
go.
serious
Anthony.
question here.
Yes, Anthony.
I don't know if you really want to discuss it as it's a very heavy question. I worry it may be too personal, but I hope not. Kate, my dear Kate, what do you think of Johnson versus Jordan?
I will say one thing. Michael Jordan is a horrible human being, and Magic Johnson is an incredible human being.
I was gonna say the man cured AIDS.
For himself only.
One down, baby.
Whole continent to go. That being, Michael Jordan is a despicable human being.
Wow.
And Magic Johnson is an incredible human being. I will say that.
Thank you, Kate, for
No, I'll say that all day long.
All right. Wow.
What was the question before that?
Yeah.
I'm looking.
That's funny, Anthony.
There's a lot. Brett, say something silly, and I'll come back to it.
I like cheese. Perfect. I don't know. You can't just tell me to say something.
Like cheese?
Yeah. So anyway, this is B. Arthur Can Get It.
That's right.
Given the divisiveness of the new Star Wars trilogy, I think it's time for cinematic universe we can all get behind. The GGCU, the Golden Girls Cinematic Universe. Every time. Perfect.
That's where they were going with it.
Yeah.
This person's my favorite.
We have Hotel Nerd put in a SCHMOEBOT. Atfield Patron did that also. Loved Harloff and RB3 for a long time. Kate and Winston are fire. Seeing Rise of Skywalker, I liked it while accepting it could never be great. Yes, I hate The Last Jedi. JJ cleaned up the turd left from RJ. Babu Frick. F the world. I miss Schnepp. Schnepp would love this shit. Shit rats Chiru, please. All right. And then we get to 420 Friendly said, I love how I start my day with some breakfast tacos.
Anna J.
That's right. And then your mom's favorite critic put in a SCHMOEBOT. Greg Mack. I love this episode of The Mandalorian. This is the Star Wars I love. Brett, I was 5. God, we're old. When I saw A New Hope come out, and it felt like, and I feel like you about the... I feel like you do about all the movies, but the OT are my favorite. Love the show. Keep it up. You guys rock. Well, thank you, Greg. Really appreciate it. Georgie Shekov put in SCHMOEBOT. So did Wong, the wonderful Wong. Kayla Hartman. B. Arthur Can Get It comes back up and says, in Shazam, the best Christmas movie of the last is it the best Christmas movie of the last 5 years? It has heart, family, humor, and Christmas lights. Something cheesecake.
Klaus on Netflix. Go watch it. It's amazing.
Okay.
Klaus?
That might have been the first non-Golden Girl one, too.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Waiting for
I
a little...
have seen Klaus.
Yeah. Wog put in a SCHMOEBOT again. So did Ben Rayner. And M. Sunday says, hey, gang, I heard George Lucas wasn't at the premiere. Do you think he wasn't invited or was just like, nah? Merry Christmas. I think he was like, nah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He was definitely invited.
Of course he was invited.
yeah.
How do you not invite him? First of all, second of all, but second of all, it's like
Disney just goes George Lucas.
Wait, it premiered?
It's the end of the trilogy. I mean, it's the end of all 9 movies.
The thing I created premiered tonight?
Disney just
Why didn't anyone tell me?
Hey, did you check the mail? It was tonight. That's my George Lucas.
We have a fucking X-wing. Take it. But no, I think he didn't want to. I mean, my personal opinion is I didn't think he gave a shit about he wanted to be part of Rogue One, and he wanted to be part of Solo, and he wanted to be part of
Force Awakens.
No, of Mandalorian. You know,
I thought he didn't he offer his advice for
in the beginning?
Yeah,
he had his scripts, and then they told him basically no. That's in Iger's book too. He was very hurt by it all. But you'll always see him on any project that Filoni works on. You'll always see George Lucas. That was his Padawan. That was his guy, and he'll be around to help out Filoni as much as he wants. But no, I don't think he gives a shit about this movie at all.
Well, it's also, I mean, his absence was noted, so it was an extra special. Fuck you.
Yeah, because he knew he knows how to play the media.
Oh, for sure.
He knew the second. Well, if I don't show up, then that means they're gonna know that something's going on. I'm not going.
Let's leave the professional impressions for Brett.
Because
he's so good.
It's really good.
It's all the same person.
Username put in a SCHMOEBOT at Atfield Patreon again. Joel Godina. Hey everyone, I'm skipping the show today because I want to create my own opinion before the Rise of Skywalker. Looking forward to hearing about your opinion later. I hope everyone has a great day. Yeah, and
that's so sweet.
Ben wishes he could have done the same.
Listen, that's so sweet.
Pork Chop, Harloff, you're a true inspiration. I know how scary it must have been as a father to start fresh, but know that the talent you possess not only to entertain, but the ability that you have to surround yourself with amazing people. Keep up the amazing work, Schlong. Well, thank you, Pork Chop. That's really, really nice of you, and I like that your name is Pork Chop. Troy Galdera puts in a SCHMOEBOT, so it is Hotel Nerd. Popcorn Shower. Hello, you awesome people. I wasn't a fan of The Last Jedi, but I'm going to go into the Rise of Skywalker with an open mind. I think that too many people fall into groupthink of actually forming their own opinion and then rarely see anything positive that comes from that. I don't disagree with you. I think that, go into it and you like what you like, you don't what you don't. 420 Friendly put in a SCHMOEBOT, ZCM Zombie Custom Maps. After watching episode 7, do you think that the guy walking with spurs at the end of episode 5 is you've seen 5 already?
Oh, okay.
You've seen 5. Is Esposito or Boba Fett? I don't think it's Esposito.
Kate's sure it's Boba Fett.
Yeah, it might be. I felt patron again. Oh yeah,
he's a Mandalorian.
Babu Frick for the win. Shit rats. That's right, Babu Frick. Hey, Nightwolf, Hotel Nerd, Eric, and AJ Lancaster. I'll put in Schmoebots. Thank you, Pac-Man Dwayne. Who, an actor or an actress that's not a leading man or a woman, whatever they are, make the product better. Is John Barenthal in everything he's been in? Is for me, it made me believe in it's a whole run-on thing here.
Wow.
Sorry, who is an actor
Okay.
or an actress that's not a leading man or a woman, whatever they are in, that make the product better? Mine is John Barenthal. Everything he's been in made me believe in the show or movie more. I think Barenthal's a good one. I'm starting to say
stole like the best answer right now.
yeah, I'm starting to say Florence Pugh in everything too.
I feel like Philip Seymour Hoffman had that ability.
He did.
Oh,
he definitely
sure.
did.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
To elevate the material.
Yeah.
You can keep going.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
That is a leading man,
You
sir.
got one, RB3?
I can't think of one.
That's
off
fine.
Top, yeah.
That's fair. Okay, Joe the Giant. I
Willem
haven't.
Dafoe. Willem Dafoe
Does also. Joe the Giant. I haven't seen episode 9 yet, but I have been on the Star Wars section of Reddit. It seems people want the movie to fail. Why? If the movie makes $0 and gets panned, you don't get anything from it. I feel people want it to be bad to give them a reason to complain. I just think, I'm telling you, it's a political, it's politics. It's like you're on a side, and if your particular side is that you want it to fail, that's the side you take. It doesn't matter like what it is, or there's 3 different sides. There's people that are just right in the middle and are just going to watch the movie, and it's either I'm going to like it or I'm not going to like it.
Is there a world in which this movie doesn't make money?
It'll make close to $1 billion.
So
it's tracking for $500 million.
Then stop wishing for
For opening
something that's
weekend.
literally not going to happen.
It's tracking for $500 million on opening weekend, 445 or something.
So, yeah, a lot of people haven't seen it, right? It's not out yet.
No, it comes out Friday. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet because it hasn't come out.
You were his first choice, just so you know.
That's true. Hotel Nerd, SCHMOEBOT, Joe and PA, Hotel Nerd, Michael Dingus, Matt Rotoni, Pac-Man Dwayne, Keith Zeres, all put in SCHMOEBOTs. Thank you. Jojo, great show, guys, and a big fan. Robert Iger has a masterclass on masterclass.com on business and leadership. Seems to be pretty good. What's a favorite foreign film of yours the last 30 years? Thanks to everyone. Cast Iron Gang all the day. It's hard for me right now not to say Parasite, because Parasite's pretty damn good. But what would you say, RB3?
Past 30 years. Okay, so there's this Hungarian film that I always forget the name of. I think it's called the Westmeister Harmonies. Literally, so nobody has seen this movie, but it's like the entire movie is 2 hours long, but it's told through like 21 10-minute long takes. So each scene is like a 10-minute long take. So it's really amazing. That's my favorite.
All right.
Japanese movie called One Cut of the Dead. It's on Shudder right now. You can get like a 7-day free trial. I don't want to say anything about it, but it's a zombie movie, and it's crazy good.
Brett was telling me the other day about one that he saw on Netflix.
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah.
You want to do this? Because I actually had some.
I thought you were a Yes N guy. I thought you were a Yes N guy. You lost that, or you turned into Ellis all of a sudden.
I'm like, I actually know some
Which
foreign
one?
films.
What do you got?
Amelie and Run Lola Run. I really enjoyed both of those.
Okay,
so.
good. What about the other one you told me about?
The other one, that was The Fish They Call Jeremy.
Right.
And
what was so good about that one?
Well, because
Subtitles?
I got over the subtitles because most of it's action.
Right.
And
But the fish have subtitles too.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, because who knows how to speak fish?
Right. Come on. But isn't that the whole premise of the movie?
My top 10 of
yes.
2010, 2019, 10.
Oh, God.
It 9. Last Jedi
Could've just said
8.
the decade.
Star Trek Into Darkness 7. Cabin in the Woods 6. Force Awakens 5. Rogue One 4. My Hero Academia 2 Heroes 3.
There you go.
Inception 2. The Conjuring 1. Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Oh, wow. Dragon Ball Z.
All right.
That was my
I thought he was going to say Dragon Ball Evolution. I was like, no!
Thank you, Hotel Nerd. And Hotel
Let
Nerd.
the right one in. That's mine.
Oh,
Let the
that's
right
yours?
one in.
Okay, that's a
The
good one.
Swedish one.
Yeah.
Hotel Nerd Anthony Nugent put in robots. A Motorola and says, "Hey Kristian, have you used force pull? How about force push? How about force choke? How about force jump? How about the force of the schlong? How about force save? How about force meditate? No, nothing. Well, that sucks. I did all that stuff in the game." Sean Cartaya, everyone who defends the portrayals of the OT characters in the new trilogy says things like Kate said. That's the real life. But Star Wars was never meant to be real life. George always intended it to be a myth or a fairy tale. That's a good point. Suge Knight,
enough.
Kate just because people wear Excuse me. This is Suge Knight. Kate, just because people wear Jordans doesn't make them better. Also, Magic had a shoe. They were weapons by Converse. Kristian, I tied you in the Rocky match. I think I can take you. And when I'm done with you, then Gucci next. Hey, we'll see, man. I mean, I got to defend that championship, but we'll see. But yeah, he did have shoes, so suck it, Kate. Matt Rattoni.
No, everybody's wearing them.
Hey, my robot didn't come through.
Even
I was actually a compliment. It was actually a compliment, but it started with a shill joke before it got to the nice part. Think it might have been passed over as a trolling glance, but love all you would do. Matt, I'll go back and look for it. Hotel Nerd, who just put that wonderful thing there. That's everything in Streamlabs. Oh, excuse me, no, it is not everything in Streamlabs.
Wow.
Flip the Ush twice. I haven't seen episode 7 yet, but I personally believe that Mandalorian is getting worse with every episode. Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
Hot take.
That
They've lost focus on the Baby Yoda plot and stayed a little too long in the Sci-Fi Channel nonsense. We've got more filler episodes and plot episodes. I couldn't disagree more.
We totally disagree, Mandalorian people.
Yeah. I would disagree with that.
Welcome to the Mandalorian Network.
Yeah, that's right. I actually think that if you put this episode together, it ties in all that stuff and proves that a lot of this stuff wasn't filler. Yeah, I respectfully disagree.
Go back and watch like so many shows. Like one of my favorite shows, Justified, does this too. It starts out with a few plot episodes, then some side episodes, and then it goes back to the plot. A lot of dramas do this.
Yeah.
Is this one harder? Oh, go ahead if you got.
This was
Justified probably had more than 8 episodes.
Oh, so then
too.
you interrupt.
Yeah.
This is Matt Rattoni's thing. He said, "Shill. I'm spending $20 to call Kristian shill."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What's a shill, by the way?" Does it mean badass to put some of the greatest show on the internet? That's how I meant it. I love you all. I accept stealing Ben. That's just not cool. It's true. Ben's not stealing is not cool. Now, let me jump on over to the super chats here because we have some super chats that I want to get to. A lot of them. Thank you guys so much for the wonderful donations today. It's been a really fun show. Christopher, do you think general audiences will like Rise more than critics? 100%. More. I mean, not that everyone in the general audience will love it, but I'm telling you that the critics. There's so many critics that were defending already Last Jedi, and they were almost more mad than maybe Rian Johnson would be, and defending it of what JJ says. No, don't worry about what Rian Johnson set up because that's not true.
Was Ryan at the premiere?
No.
Okay.
No chance.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he was. Double check. If you don't mind, but I didn't. Tom Highwind. How you doing now? Would you rather see a Joel Schumacher Star Wars or a Joel Schumacher MCU flick? Now you know, and now you know. I think I'd rather see him do a Marvel movie, but I actually don't think Joel Schumacher has done some good movies, Lost Boys and Phone Booth. It's just the direction that he was given to what he was supposed to do with Batman was the thing. It was the studio that got involved, not Joe Schumacher.
How do you feel about Joey Shoemaker?
Doing the movie?
Yeah. What do you think about it? I mean, you and Joey have some history.
We do, especially when you see what Joey did with that last movie he did. I think Slam It Down.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, the title alone
underrated.
It was when he beat that guy to death with the meatball sub. God. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's see. Ray Browski. I've been down with you before Collider took over. I don't know what transpired and why you left. Just watched a video on Jody's Corner. Jody's the best. I like Jody a lot. Jody's a good dude. Nothing, dude. Just time is time, and it was time for me to go off and do my own thing, and that's what I'm doing. Anthony Nugent. Good day, crew. Just wondering if y'all had an Amazon wish list. The only thing that we're going to put on there too, because we want to set up this freaking couch. So we're going to do like the couch. We're going to name it after somebody. That's what we're going to do. We're going to call it the couch. It'll be Anthony Nugent's couch.
He asked that on the tweets, and I said, he said because I put mine up recently again, and it's blowing up, man.
Yeah, I'll do it. Is it? Haskell 420. So no one is modding the live chat to delete and to warn people to not post. Really bad move. I'm sorry, Ed. It's like, what do you want us to do, man? There's nothing.
If I had gone to see the
what do you want? I mean, shoot, do you want Ben to get spoiled?
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
I feel the pain.
Fucking believable.
I
bad move, guys.
Is there ability to not watch the live chat?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Don't watch the live chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if that was.
Yeah.
a-
Hide. It says hide chat.
I said it in the beginning of the fucking show that you weren't going to be doing it because you don't want to get spoiled on stuff because it's happening there. It's like you can't control it right now.
Well, he didn't do time codes for it, so.
No. River 727
000. Don't read chat.
Kathleen Kennedy needs to step down after this. I think she will. I think that this is the last one she's going to be doing. I think probably the next year and a half she'll probably announce it.
Ryan Johnson was not at the premiere.
He was not. No, I didn't think so. Tom Hyman.
Thank you.
Please do Arnold pitching Lucasfilm why Shoemaker should direct the new Star Wars trilogy. All right.
Where's this coming from?
This is Super Chat. Tom Hyman.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's two Joel Schumacher things.
That might have been the same one.
Okay,
I don't know.
gotcha.
Let's see. Hey, Kathleen, got a great idea for you. Okay, listen, hear me out here. You know, I know you look at the hot directors and who's doing really hot, and he has been around in a while. But Joel Schumacher, he does a great job. He did the thing with the phone booth and had the guy in there, and the whole time the movie was going on. And all you need to do is you put someone in the cantina and then you can have a shot of his ass, and that's what Joel Schumacher does. And a lot of colors and balloons, and it'd be nice. And by the way, why are you still here? You should quit. Bye. Okay.
Time to Kill was a good Joel Schumacher movie.
True. Did he do that one? Time to Kill. Wow. GM7 Games. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. Her and Iger don't get along. How do you know that? She doesn't know anything about Star Wars creative. There was no vision, no plan, nothing. It's time to put people in charge who really care about this franchise.
We just lost her as a listener. Thanks.
I know. Well, I
There goes my paycheck.
I agree. What was that you just broke?
I don't know. I just keep playing.
Yeah.
It's one of these
I
things.
keep playing with it too.
I don't disagree
was
with
that?
This one too.
some of that stuff. It just you can
It's a
tell
mic plug.
there's some stuff that's coming out of this comment that is definitely there's the frustration of it. Needs to go is more of a thing where I think she's gonna go. I think she's gonna step down after this one. Again, it'll probably be in about a year and a half or so. She's got a hit television show in her hands. She had a hit animated show in her hands. She's got a bunch of movies that made over $1 billion. I don't understand why you want to keep continuing on if you're her when you can move on to a bigger job after showing the resume that she has. So there's that. Her and Iger don't get along. I don't know where you have that information. That's not public, so I don't know if that's fact or not fact. She doesn't know anything about Star Wars creative. My biggest thing, I don't know necessarily say if I just don't think she should be running Star Wars creative. I can't definitively say whether or not she knows anything about Star Wars creative. I don't know if you can say that because I've never had a conversation with her about that. But I think it's proven that when she trusts in people like Filoni and Favreau who to run the creative on their particular project, it works better in an overall loop than it does on 3 separate films that somebody can have a creative and say, you do this, you do that. So I don't disagree with you there. There was no vision, no plan, or nothing. There was no vision or plan for the trilogy. I agree with you. The particular movies had plan and visions, but they just didn't link up to a full trilogy. I think that's also why she went back and go, I'm never doing a trilogy again. Yeah, because you didn't do it right. And it's time to put people in charge who really care about this franchise. I still stick with if she's going to stay and produce, she's a good producer. But I don't think she should be running the creative of it. I think she should put someone else in charge to do that. And I agree. That's why I said I agree with a lot of the stuff that you said. Kristian Alante. I'm 100% with Kristian. I would love an Old Republic series in the style of Game of Thrones over an Old Republic trilogy. Yeah, at this point, I would much rather you just expand it a lot more. Movie Finobi, Kristian and crew, good effing afternoon. I'm seeing Rise tomorrow, and it's not in my pants. I'm not expecting anything other than the cool universe and a little fun. I know they can't live up to expectations. I mean, that's fair. It's a good way to go into it.
Yeah.
That's a quick question. Do you think like directors will want to stay away from Star Wars? Like, I mean, like D&D. Oh yeah, money. That's true.
Ryan Johnson. I mean, speaking of one of the news things we didn't get to today.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson said on a podcast that actually Jennifer
Sturgis.
That's great.
Yeah.
That he thinks that movies or filmmakers and I guess fandom in general shouldn't cater to fans, but should challenge them.
I guess that's, and I think again, this is like a little. This is why I told people a long time ago, I don't believe that these two guys saw eye to eye at all. And when I was on Jedi Council, I would say that, and people would write back, "You don't know. JJ says that he would have wanted to direct it, and Ryan says it's like, yeah, but they're being. What do you think they're going to do? Yeah. At this point, courtesy. When you see the movie itself, you know that the gloves are off, and then a classy way that Ryan Johnson, instead of saying, JJ shouldn't have done it this way, he just said, no, my thing, the way that I did this movie was I felt like I was challenging fans as opposed to what JJ. And this is not. When you read through the comments, this is what's saying. And what JJ is doing here is he's catering to the fans. that's not the actual quotes. The actual quotes were more so of like, you know.
I can read the quote if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even my experience as a fan, you know, if I'm coming into something, even if it's something that I think I want, if I see exactly what I think I want on screen, it's like, oh, okay. It might make me smile, might make me feel neutral about the thing, and I won't really think about it afterwards. But that's not really going to satisfy me. I want to be shocked. I want to be surprised. I want to be thrown off guard. I want things to be recontextualized. I want to be challenged as a fan when I sit down in theater. What I'm aiming for every time I sit down in theaters to have the experience with Empire Strikes Back. Something that emotionally resonant and feels like it connects and makes sense and really gets to the heart of what this thing is, and in a way that I never could have seen coming.
Right. And yeah, and
My thoughts exactly.
But I mean, I always, like I said, I think that, and I talked to someone about this the other night. We were talking about Last Jedi, and I said, I think that it was a ballsy move. I think it was, and I still stick by, I think, as a Rian Johnson film, it's a well-made film. It's not a badly made film. It's just not a good Star Wars film, in my humble opinion.
Shout out to Jen and Cody.
Yes. Shout out to Jen and Cody. Movie Finobi, Mandalorian was great. Deborah Chow is perfect for Obi-Wan. Could not agree more, my man. I can't wait to see what she does with that series. Tim Sim, hot take or not, the future of Star Wars is television. I mean, that's my take.
Yeah.
So
it's starting to look that way, and just like no Skywalker stuff, just all this other stuff, like with no baggage.
Even if you did put a Skywalker thing, you can tie in a couple of maybe names or things that happen, or an adventure with Luke, or there's once we can talk spoilers more. There's more stuff that we can talk, because I did feel it was funny because someone asked me if I thought that this new movie negated the original trilogy, and the first time I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it definitely puts. And then I was watching Mandalorian today.
Remember when we can go to the movies without someone hated you because you like a movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun. Remember when we didn't have to fight why Last Jedi wasn't good or bad?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Good time, fart noise.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how we got here, to be honest with you.
Well, no, and as the casual person, always the one that doesn't do. This is the thing that it's baffling to me that people get so upset about these things.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my son, I wanted him to like rock and roll. He doesn't like rock and roll, so I don't fucking yell at him all the time about it. You know, and it's just he's a different person.
Or
if
he does like the song, you just be like, why do you like that song?
Yeah, he watches football, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
You know, we never
Jonas
watched
Brothers
football.
shill.
Yeah. Real quick about the Mandalorian and Star Wars fans. Do you think that the hardcore fans are taking this in better because it's so different that they don't have the preconceived?
That's part of it.
Oh man, I was almost too late to interrupt Brett making a point.
No, you did it. That was good. Really good. Really good. Look, wow. We got about 9 minutes here. Vincent G991. Without spoiling, does the film explain why Rey is so powerful? I feel like that would be, whether I said yes or no, it would be a spoil, so I don't want to say anything. You'll find out as soon as you see the movie. The Geek's Attic. Howdy. I'm cheap. Sorry, I got 3 kids to feed. Hey, you just put in, look.
Hey.
Donations, man.
That's awesome.
Jacob Bastian, if I needed it, why could this not be, if it needed it, why could it not be 4 movies? I mean, I think that's kind of one of the points that Kathleen Kennedy was making, is that they were beholden to 3 movies because they said it was going to be a trilogy because they've done that beforehand. So that's why I understood what she was trying to say, but there was just a couple things about it that I just didn't think was good timing. Dan Bisher, hey, RB3, go Pacers. He said, "Go Pacers."
I have no connection to the Pacers either way.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh man,
I think it was just because you always talk about Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But have fun being irrelevant in Indianapolis.
Oh, because they beat us last night. Oh.
There you go. So now you know.
right.
Now
So
you do have.
Both the
you
win
know,
streaks got snapped because
So did-
Milwaukee lost too.
You
stuck you right in the
so
toilet.
You do have a connection with the Pacers.
That's right. You do now.
Yes,
Matthew Correa. I saw Richard Jewell yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. The fact that it had a bad opening is so disappointing. Top 10 movies of the year for me. I really enjoyed the film. I really liked it a lot. Tivishka Productions. Tushika. Sorry, there you go. Tushika. That's it. I had a theory that The Last Jedi was a mess because of Carrie's death. The plot felt rushed, and Canto Bight felt shoehorned in. Perhaps to salvage as much footage for 9. Chill. #ChillShill. So I think, I mean, from what I heard, there was definitely some. They had to maneuver a lot because of Carrie. I don't know if it changed it overall, but maybe it did. Maybe it changed a lot of the script.
She didn't finish filming Last Jedi? I thought she made it through.
Did she finish the whole thing?
I thought so.
Ryan Johnson claimed that she finished.
She did?
filming
Okay.
for
Yeah.
Last Jedi.
Well, I guess that's why he's theorizing it. G. Paul, as someone who doesn't love the tone in The Force Awakens and doesn't like most of Last Jedi, is there a chance I can actually enjoy this movie? I'm sad, honestly. I don't know. If you didn't like the tone in Force Awakens, you might not, because it's very, like I said, to me it seemed like a direct sequel to The Force Awakens.
You know what I say to my kid? Try 3 bites. You know what I mean?
See what you like. Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Gunslinger 199, currently watching 6 Underground. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Oh my God.
I heard it's awful.
The poster was bad.
Yeah, I heard it's really
40
bad.
minutes of that movie, it felt like Michael Bay's trolling us.
Thanks for the love, Kate, one of my favorite people in the world for many reasons.
Hey.
Already amped and ready for Brooklyn. Much love to the whole SEN live crew, looking forward to bringing that bling to the show one of these days. New hoodie already ordered.
There you go. Okay, Dan, be sure again. Why didn't Disney make the Rise of Skywalker into 2 films? I haven't seen it yet, but I feel like most criticism is that it's too much that happened in one film. Well, I mean, again, it's because of the trilogy thing, and it is a lot that happens in one film because, once again, there was no plan. And they had to say, okay, this is everything that I wanted to do. I mean, it's easy.
Also, when you have to undo a lot of things.
Yeah, and it's like, and it was everything that he wanted to connect from his movie. You know, and it's one I get, like, you know, he should have made the deal. He should have done it. He should have at least been a more hands-on producer for JJ. That is for all 3 movies.
Yeah, he should have been like, okay, I'll direct the first one,
and I want to be hands-on.
Yeah, I'm writing. Yeah. I'm like co-writing the rest.
And Kathleen Kennedy then should not have brought him on in the first place. You should have had someone to connect all 3 in the first place. Yeah. But the fact that she was like, no, we'll get him to do it. And then, okay, fine, you don't want to do that? Well, Ryan Johnson, he's a really good filmmaker, so we'll get Ryan Johnson next. And you don't have to go with everything that JJ. You want to change some of your things, it's fine. It's like, no. Yeah. No, that's clearly what happened. And it's been a bad move. Okay, this is now Simply Emily. Happy 1 week until Christmas. When was the last time you made a gift versus buying, or in addition to buying a gift?
I do it all.
What's this question?
Made a gift. Like, so I'm a knitter. A knit. Right. And so I knit gifts. One year I made, I took all old T-shirts and I made them into reusable bags.
Okay, just wondering, was 3 bites your motto when you were wild and young?
Oh. Look at Anthony Nugent coming in hot there. You like that?
Coming in from down under. Anthony Nugent.
So were you.
Everyone missed my no gag reflex joke. I'm really disappointed.
I know, but then I was like, you're not wrong.
I got it.
You're not wrong.
Thank you.
Weren't you the one that yelled at me last week about having to call back to your joke?
Yeah.
Guys, I told a funny before. If you rewind the tape, you'll see it.
Replay. Turn the volume up.
Yeah.
My rule for my younger days was no teeth at all.
Whoa. Look at you.
So about those bags made out of T-shirts.
Those are the gifts Kate made. She didn't buy those.
You didn't buy them. Okay.
I also made ornaments with my kids for people. With their pictures.
Solid segue.
Good transition.
How many questions do you have?
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
Cliff Aylor. Damn, you guys got me thinking about this whole life stuff and how precious it is. Shout out to all of you. One love. Also, Kate is a hot girl. A black man's kryptonite.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Listen, I've swum in that pond.
Put the camera on yourself, will you? He lost his mind on that one.
Heath Harrison. I wanted the Rise of Skywalker to be good. Kathleen Kennedy's got to go. How do you buy a franchise for $4 billion and not plan it out? I think that's everybody involved here. I don't understand how you don't have a full plan. For sure. Brian knows best. That's my brother. Hey, Chris, it's Brian. I was the guy in the chat who called you a shill to Disney. Sorry, I got carried away. Makes sense. Blink X45. No, it is. First time donation. Brett is the fucking best. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Jonathan Caro, favorite Christmas TV show episode? Friends, I guess, right? Only because I can't think of anything else.
I just watched Community. They did like a stop-motion claymation one. It was really good.
Huh. Anybody else?
Wait, sorry.
What's your favorite TV show Christmas episode?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I feel like
Silver spoons?
The Star Wars Christmas special?
I don't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the Office Christmas parties are great too.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes. Cafe Disco.
Yes.
Cafe Disco.
That's not a Christmas episode.
Hey,
but
put that
okay.
in my pond before she will like the last episode of Watchmen.
Since Kate swept in.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Wog?
Wog?
Well, that's kind of a spoiler. That's
Wait.
kind of a spoiler. But
That wasn't. I don't think that was Wog. Was that Wog?
that was Wog. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
Wog Will?
Oh yeah. Wog said that. He said you weren't on the show last week.
Will?
Yes.
Is it Will Smith?
What if it was?
Oh my God.
It's true. Can't wait for Bad Boys 3. Bad Boy shill. All right, here we go. Let's see. Will you guys? Okay, this is now James Tyler. I don't think Ryan Johnson was at the premiere. He was not. Haskell 420. How is Campy's 100 million views party? Are we getting Dark Side, Light Side later? And or weekly Mando review.
Mommy, mama.
I'll field this one, guys. I got this one.
Mom.
Schlong.
Yeah. I listen. The
Take
thing,
3 bites.
I don't want to get anyone mad, but I agree with everything. Everything they said.
You
motherfucker!
This guy, every time that comes up.
I know.
This guy.
When I thought it was going to be so
Always with the mom with this guy.
Oh,
as
Brett,
far
you're on a
as-
whole other level today.
I know.
Oh,
As
God,
far as the
Brett,
100,
you're so
I did
fucking
not
funny.
get a chance to make it to the party last night because, like I said, the Dark Side Lights got canceled. I came all the way back home. My daughter was sick. I could not get all the way back over, so I wasn't able to make it. Dark Side Lights, I don't know if it's going to happen this week, probably next week. And the Mando weekly review and watch along will happen for sure. Thanks for the T out LOL. Sorry, I don't know what that meant. Dave Goldstein, will you guys be doing movie commentaries? I mean, I think eventually we're going to try to do it, and it's one of the reasons I want to get that damn couch. Arlocon. Brett, the toilet seat I got you off your Amazon wish list was just delivered to your house. Happy holidays to all. Hashtag Team Cast Iron Brett. That's really good. Yeah. AJ Lancaster. If we're doing Star Wars as television, give Kevin Smith a low-budget Tag and Bink series. That's funny. That would be funny. Commander Dameron Squadron. Christian, in Fallen Order, did you try Forcekin? It's funny. Ha ha ha! I'll be out here all day. Merry
You
Christmas
son of
to
a
Kate's IP. Let me see if I got anybody. All right, let me clean up, finish up Streamlabs here, and then we'll call it a day, everybody.
And I'm going to call it a couple weeks.
And you are, you know.
I'm
Well,
going to be out in the dirty jersey if anybody needs me.
Nice.
oh wow! Shoot.
Wog put in one and didn't go through.
Wog did.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna look. Hold on.
Oh.
I'm looking
Uh-oh.
over here. So this is flip the USB twice. Did I do that one? I did, right? Yes, I did. I'm trying to go to Joel and PA. If Disney's gonna make, oh no, sorry, this is flip the USB twice. 1, Revenge of the Sith. 2, Return of the Jedi. 3, Force Awakens. I have spoken. Interesting. Okay, so that's a list. Joe and PA.
And you certainly did a
That's,
list.
that's a list with numbers.
Joe and PA, if Disney's going to make a new Star Wars project in the future, they should hire people who really know their Star Wars. The Disney Star Wars projects, I feel, are like Rebels, Rogue One, Solo, and The Mandalorian, all created by people who worked with George Lucas. The Star Wars ones that he likes are Rebels, Rogue One, Solo, and The Mandalorian. I don't disagree with you, Joe. I think to me
Let's
those
get Alex Damon to
we
run
can do
Star
it.
Wars.
Well, but I just think I just think they need showrunners on both the movies and the television show. Troy Caldera, you started responding to my SCHMOEBOT about coming back to Chicago before being cut off. Any details of when you'll all be coming back? Sorry, Troy. So the goal is June, May or June is when we're looking to get into.
Chicago
because
in June.
I have to be at my brother-in-law's wedding, and I'm so worried you're going to be in Chicago when I need to be there.
We're looking.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when we're gonna go do it for sure. Wiley Todd, hey guys, having a tough time with a girl that I like. We talk a lot and think we like each other, but at the same time, don't, because she's posting pics of other guys on Snap, and I have no hope. What should be my next step? I can't say let's have a drink because her parents. Because her parents. Yeah. Okay.
How old is this?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how old.
Wiley's a young boy, man. He got plenty of time.
Yeah, you got
Yo,
time.
Wiley,
Yes.
listen to me, buddy.
This is my favorite part of the
DM
whole
me,
show. Go
man.
ahead.
I got some words for you, bro. All you gotta do is just take her aside, and be like, listen, baby, what's going on? You know, I wonder, like,
Be
I might
honest with her. Up
literally
front.
just be like, yo, like, are we
Is this
what
a
is
thing?
this? Yeah, is this, are we gonna keep this going or what? You know, because honestly, like if he doesn't and she's posting other guys, they're gonna ask that same question.
Let me tell you something.
That's true.
Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
What you just did just now is that you didn't even realize what you just did.
What's
you
that?
just pitched an RB3 Love Advice show and you just got
Oh yeah.
I would watch that show
Yes.
every fucking day. Over this show. You should
Question
do it.
1.
Yeah.
RB3, where are the white women at?
Oh yeah, they're all around.
They're all swimming in ponds.
I live in Williamsport, so getting to Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, or NYC is a stretch for me from Central PA.
We're thinking. I mean, it's
move.
He's so bad. Stop making me laugh.
Oh my god.
I'm going to throw up. That was so funny.
Oh, holy shit. Okay. All
We
right.
need you to hit an open mic after this.
I did like that. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
Also, the
Exile.
attitude you said it with.
We're gonna.
Poor person.
I know. We're gonna. Maybe he's moving right now, but we'll try, my man. I
He's
promise.
moving now.
Yeah. Exiled Garlic, thank you for all the conversation on your hopes for the new year. It was very inspirational, especially Kate and Brett. My comments mean nothing. Sean Kotaya, this is random and unrelated to the overall conversation, but I'm with Ben about Justified. It was one of my favorite shows of all time.
Nice.
It was very underrated. Timothy Olyphant is perfect as the heroic leading man, and Walt Goggins is incredible. Walt Goggins is the man. Pac-Man Dwayne put in a SCHMOEBOT there. Call to Action also did, and Kevin Smets.
Hey.
Why didn't I?
You were reading something. I was like, you're having no reaction to the fact that Kevin Smets A says
He put in a
loves
SCHMOEBOT?
me.
Oh, thanks for the.
And B said he got a new
Oh,
hoodie.
let me do that again. Thanks for the love, Kate. One of my favorite people in the world for so many reasons. Already amped and ready for Brooklyn. Much love to the whole SEN live crew. Looking forward to bringing that bling to the show one of these days. New hoodie already ordered. That's right. Kevin Smets, the Intergeekdom champ, going to be playing in Brooklyn against Mara Kanata.
That's going to be a good match.
Yeah, I think so. Anthony Nugent, we did put in the SCHMOEBOT. Hotel Nerd. Hope you bring a schmo down to PA soon. I'm in Williamsport to Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and NYC, and hard stretches for me in Central PA. He put that in there. And then
Move.
Brett Goddard.
Followed.
Yeah.
Us all puking. Followed that.
We did read this one though, RB3. The WOG, since Kate swept into my pond before, she'll like the last episode of Watchmen.
There's another one.
There's
There's another one down there?
Yeah.
There's another one.
All right,
I
I'll
saw
look
what
at
it said on the screen.
Galaxy Fan 11 said, Kristian, simple question. Is the Rise of Skywalker thumbs up or down? I would go thumbs up as far as an entertaining ride for sure, but it's got
All together
a lot
now.
of issues.
Shill.
That's right, I know.
Ching.
Let's see. So
Need to get a little cha-ching sound bite every time we shill.
okay, so now we had 420 friendly put in a SCHMOEBOT. WOG says, that's right, Kate. I'm a 6'5", 240-pound grown-ass motherfucking man. Oh, no, it doesn't say just grown-ass man. That is in that pond. LOL, Will. That's awesome.
Yes.
WOG is the man.
WOG is the man.
Yeah, Hotel Nerd also put in a SCHMOEBOT for sure. Let me just see if that's everything before we call it a day, ladies and gentlemen. What a day it was. Yeah. Haskell 420. New show, RB3, You Tonight, exclamation point.
Oh yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah. And then,
How about I'll see you tonight?
Yeah.
let's see.
Ooh.
RB threesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've
get through it?
We've done it.
Oh.
We've done
Hey!
it. What a show it was! I want to
Something
thank
just popped
everybody
up.
here. No, it was really fun. But also remember, there's so much that we're gonna be doing. We're gonna have our awards and the draft. The big draft for next season happens January 11th at the Comedy Store on January 11th. That is a Saturday. Make sure you can get your tickets now. SCHMOEDOwnLive.com. Then January 25th, the Intergeekdom champion Kevin Smets will be defending his championship against Mara Kanopik, former champion. And the undercard, you'll find out what the undercard is this Thursday, tomorrow. You'll find that out on Backstage, when it'll be myself, Sam Levine, Ben Bateman, and Breanne Chandler will be on the show tomorrow talking all things Schmoedown, and we'll find out that undercard. February 29th is the Atlanta Schmoedown, and March 21st is the free-for-all. So go get your tickets, SCHMOEDOwnLive.com. Free-for-all not available yet, but everything else is. And make sure that you subscribe to this podcast on podcast everywhere podcasts are found. You can get the Mandalorian reviews, the Star Wars reviews. You can get the Talking Star Wars with Harloff, which is also the Mandalorian. That's on podcasts everywhere you can find podcasts. And that's about it, guys. Make sure if you haven't watched the SCHMOEBOT Spectacular, give it a shot and see what you think.
Schlong at the buzzer.
Schlong at the buzzer. That's right. Nice, Soggy. I like what you did there.
Also, I saw something come in from Anthony. Anthony, no offense was taken.
Oh, why
Don't
did
worry
this?
about
So
that.
Anthony Nugent said, just want to clarify, I meant no offense, Kate. You're amazing.
No offense.
Brett is
Taken.
fantastic. RB3 dropping truth. Kristian will follow you anywhere. Ben, I'm a baker. If you ever want to come to my bakeries, please stay the fuck away from my donuts. Oh, and you're okay.
Too bad.
Well, there you go. I don't know why
I'ma
they
steal 'em.
I don't know why. Oh, it didn't come
Anthony's
because I
got
guess because
that.
he cursed. All right, guys. I think that's it. So thank you so much, RB3.
I'll see you guys next year.
Oh yes, Kate. We'll see Kate next
for
week.
the
Wish
year.
her luck. We'll see her in January. We'll be back here tomorrow. Winston Marshall's going to be on the show. Goddard will be on the show. RB3 and Jared Haben joining us tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Peace out, Mother Us.